effectively to my advantage or to my business advantage. That's A. Now, the B part of the question now is with respect to an entrepreneur, an SME. What, in your opinion, would you the right use of word, the best appearance? Should I be a business name or should I be a limited liability?
I think these are very practical. Depending on you know what you must realize about structures. These things are structures.
Exactly.
Structures also come with costs, right? They come with regulation.
But without structure, the business cannot stand.
Yes, without structure, So my guidance on structures is this: as you scale, right, you're going to need a lot more governance and structure.
Exactly.
We have to be careful so that we don't over-regulate things that are still in their infancy. All right? And if you look all over the world, and this is what the research is showing. For instance, Europe is really not throwing up very few. No, the challenge with Europe, let me not say problem, is the regulation. The regulation imposes structures. And I can tell you for free, our first company that we registered was in Nigeria. The second was in the US. The third one was in the UK. And we're on our way to registering one in the Middle East before all of this. That's why we were in Riyadh. We're trying to say, we're looking. But I can tell you for free that the Americans, compared to UK, the cost of running our business in the US, to register in the US was so simple. I couldn't believe it when they sent me our registration. Yeah. And how much are we paying? Almost nothing. But UK, we needed, lawyers. We need tax people. We need returns. We need to pay all this. I'm like, I don't need this cost.
We haven't even started.
We're not even making money there. I don't need this cost. Do you understand? So as an entrepreneur, you have to, governance has to come with scale. Because if you're not making money, it's money that pays for that governance. Because once you put in governance, you have board advisors, all these people, you got to pay for them, right? They're offering a service. Yeah. So we have to be careful. And I talk to government and regulators, especially in my previous life. I said, you watch the Chinese, what they've done. They allow the entity to scale. And then they move in and say, they did it to Alibaba. They say, no, they start governing it. There's a term they use. When you become systemic, they will bring all the governance upon you. But good practice is, as you scale, in my view, you need more governance. As you scale, you need more governance. And very closely linked to this, right, there's also informal governance, mentorship.
Okay.
Mentorship. I want to say here, you may not be able to afford board members. You may not be able to afford the board of directors. Like when you're a business name, and which was your question. But you can afford mentors. That's the good thing about. And with mentors, you have to seek them out because they're busy people, right? You have to ask them. There's a young man that, is my mentee, and he's doing so well. But what you find is that it's not like he has access to me, but it's not like he just takes, he chases the access. For instance, because he was importing a lot, he will call me, this dollar, is it going to go up or down? I say, I'm not an oracle. I cannot tell you whether dollar will go up or down, but I'll ask him, what are you trying to do? He says he's doing this, he's going to keep this, he has some orders, and I say, if you have orders they've paid already, you are locked in, buy. So that's the role of mentors, right?
To give direction.
Exactly, but I'm not on the board of his company.
Yeah.
But you need all those people to give you direction. When you see a lot of people that are doing well, if you look at them, mentors just help you. Yeah. They just guide you. They just protect you. They give you perspective. They help shape the journey. And so it's important that, they can do for you, especially when you're starting out, what governance and structures do for company. They will even advise you anyway. One of my mentors, I sat with him, and like 2-3 weeks ago, we spent almost 3 hours at he's a member of a boat club. So he said, boy, let's come sit together. So I sat with him for almost 3 hours. And he was harping on me about, you still need to strengthen the governance.
Yeah, sure.
I told him what we've done, where, this company, it's almost 3 hours, very relaxed on myself. I said, boy, I still think. The other thing is they share a perspective. They share a relatively independent perspective, right? And it's important because many times you are biased.
Yeah, exactly. You're not seeing it.
You are not seeing it.
Yeah.
But because you trust them, you know they're speaking, from a good place. So you take that advice that they're giving you.
Okay, thank you. The time is running very fast. But you see, the issue with governance is this. Without proper governance, no investor will touch you with a long spoon. So, like you rightly said, as you're scaling, maybe at the infancy stage, you might want to use the mentors, the independent people, and all of that. But when you get to a certain level, you just will have to put that governance in place so that when the investor is now coming, you will have to be able to open your books. Because as an entrepreneur, if you are not keeping proper record, and you will lose everything. Yeah.
And I think that this point you mentioned separates for people starting out. Your business name is good enough to start. If you're going to do, for instance, some of those countries, they have different jurisdictions. But if you are just, you are running this business in Lagos, you can start with a business name. Because you can always move on to become a limited liability company and so on and so forth. Separate your business
from yourself.
Thank you
so much.
I am on a salary, even though I'm a founder.
Thank you so much.
I am on a salary. The money, when you say, somebody gave us money, they never, ever put the money in my name. They wrote the check.
Or in your personal
fact, they
account.
transferred it straight into Bazara's account. And I have to be able to account for how we spent the money. So another thing about young entrepreneurs is delay the gratification.
Thank you.
People transferred money to me. I didn't buy a house. I didn't buy a car.
Neither did you marry a
over
second
10
wife.
years old. I didn't marry a second wife. And this is what we see. This is one of the big challenges we had with fintechs in Nigeria. A lot of people put money immediately. There's a lifestyle explosion. No. Investor money, if anything at all, investor money is money that you have to go and multiply because you got to return it.
With interest.
With interest. That's what they call dividend. So you are going to return it. Investor money is not very different from a bank loan.
Yeah.
The money that you can really, if anything at all, you are going to do a lifestyle change. Comes from sales and growth. And then you can say, oh yes, I made a profit. Now I want to
flex.
I want to flex. I want to reward myself, But you see, and there's a whole conversation around purpose and kingdom. And where is kingdom in all of this?
Yeah.
Because you also must, and I know we're out of time.
I think you are.
But what's the purpose of
you are looking at
when God gives you these resources?
Exactly.
It comes back to purpose. What are you trying to do? Innovation is ultimately about people.
Yeah.
What are you trying to do? Because you see, that's where people, some people start flying to go and watch Arsenal every weekend, watch a private jet. Is that purpose? Is that purpose? That's why God gives you money, so you can be going every weekend to go and watch football in wherever.
But it's my money.
And somebody says it's my money. That's what they call, from a kingdom perspective, people start questioning if you haven't missed it. We should be asking God, what's the purpose of this wealth? When you can do endowments, we've talked about the problems of this country. You can endow universities. You can endow students. We have a huge IDP population. Christians like you, children of the Most High, that are not in school as we speak. Some of them in their millions. And you are going to watch a Premiership every weekend with private jets. Purpose. So, and that's important. And that's why, that whole purpose conversation, it anchors us so that when you then have this wealth, it's really about kingdom builders and nation builders.
Thank you so much, because that was going to be my next question to you before this very last one. So if you were to leave everyone here with just one principle that can change their financial future, what would that be?
It's multiplication. For me, I think, have that mindset that, I really want the Holy Spirit to help me to be a person that multiplies. Even if you are not an entrepreneur, even if you are running a company, once you understand that this is God's DNA, and we have that spirit, and God Himself is a builder. God multiplies. Remember, He fed the 5,000. There's so many. Once you start going and you start thinking like this, in your work, you start seeing this principle that I'm talking about. It's the way God does His things. And when people don't key in, I find out that we miss a lot what God is doing. And God has shown us in Nigeria, He's shown this in what is done in the body of Christ in Nigeria. He's the God of multiplication. And He wants us, to key into that in our businesses. Not only in our businesses, even you can be an entrepreneur. You're a professional. But people can see you are different. Daniel was a professional.
Yeah.
Wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Joseph. So they are not always entrepreneurs, right? But whether you are in or you are out, you are a person of multiplication and impact for God's kingdom.
And you said something, I listened to you yesterday, you said something about the fact that size and legacy doesn't necessarily matter.
Okay, all right, maybe it's context.
Yes, I mean, yes. It was somewhere that you were talking about financial freedom and all of that, and you were saying that the fact that a company is very large and they built on legacy, at times it could limit them attracting innovation.
Yes, that's really true. That's also a very Isaiah 45. And this Isaiah 45, and I'm sure many of us will know it speaks about, God says, I've anointed you, I've held your right hand to Cyrus. And then God started saying, look, I'm going to subdue nations before you. I'm going to, open the double doors. I will make crooked paths straight. And one of the things about God, and all of this is that you find out that when organizations are quite sizable, there's a lot of complexity, bureaucracy, politics, and all kinds of things that stifle growth.
Very spot on.
And therefore, sometimes, which is where legacy comes. You find that some of those organizations disappear. And I don't want to mention some.
As it was in the beginning.
Yeah.
So it's now.
So you find it difficult to evolve, right? And to really make an impact and leave a legacy. So size in itself can be a problem, right? And that's why that mindset is important. When an organization, even it happens in church, if a church becomes so big, sometimes people just feel that, well, we're big. Why are we doing evangelism? Why are we? No, that's the wrong mindset. The kingdom mindset is always to multiply. And, by God's grace and through His Spirit, I pray that will be our portion.
Thank you so very much. It's been some 25 minutes of real thought-provoking.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We're grateful. Yeah.
An amazing session.
Absolutely
I have been blessed. And I'm taking away delayed gratification. Right? You don't spend all your money now. So before you go, sir, at the moment we would like that you come up for a few pictures with the committee and our national overseer and our mom. Please come up, sir. Photographers.
Media, please. Let's have the camera on board.
Thank you so very much, sir. Right now, I would like to go to questions. If you have any question, we would like you to, questions or takeaways, like you to signify, would like to take your question or takeaways.
I think I noticed the people on this side paying more attention.
Really?
And just nodding their heads.
So people on this side are just there.
No, they were paying attention to. As a matter of fact, I could see some
Taking notes, right?
taking notes.
Yeah.
So maybe we can take one takeaway from here and then one takeaway from this side. So anyone on this side who would want to give us what their takeaway was from Mr. Boye's section. So if no one volunteers, I'm just going to pick randomly from the side. Anyone? Okay. Sir, please. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Could you come up and give us your takeaway? He was looking at me like, I know you're about to call me. Thank you. Would you like to share with us, sir?
So you mentioned something which I really owed onto, that people don't invest in your products, they invest in your person. So we should try to be a person of integrity, and we should be prepared. All right.
To be a person of integrity and be prepared. That was well said. That was well said. Thank you very much, sir. Okay, so can we have someone on this side, anyone here, who would like to give us their takeaway from Mr. Boye's section? That was our keynote section, so would like to.
All right, so he said something that really, really stuck to me. He said, innovation means doing more with less, right? It's more about the delayed gratification, and that's one thing that many people do not understand. So I work in fintech, and that's one of the, just like he highlighted, in fintech, you see many people saying, okay, we have these resources, we have investors' money on hand. Okay, you know what? It's time for us to reward ourselves. Then they tend to overlook the partners, they tend to overlook the people involved. So when he said that innovation means doing more with less, it really, really stuck to me. And that was more of like the highlights of the entire fireside session. Thank you.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Doing more with
Doing
less.
more with less.
That's innovation. That's innovation.
Yeah.
So I'm going to leave my co-host, Dimeji, to introduce us
That's so sad.
to the next section, and then we'll have our next speaker come on board.
All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Dimeji.
The woman Estelle. All right, now to take us toward the first talk, Keys to Innovate, Scale, and Thrive as an Entrepreneur, is Mr. Seyi Olatubosun. However, before he comes up, I would like to read his profile. Oluwaseyi Olatubosun is a social entrepreneur with over 9 years experience in waste management and 4 years experience in plastic recycling. He is a graduate of building from Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and holds a master's in facilities management with awards in environmental awareness, risk assessment, and health and safety at work. He is the managing director of KIC Cleaners Limited, a plastic recycling company in Lagos, and also lead consultant and Realty General Consults, a construction and facilities management company. KIC Cleaners Limited engages in collection and aggregation of polyethylene, terephthalate, PET, and crushing of polypropylene. Hey, Jesus. Polypropylene, and has driven systemic collection of recyclables from points of generation, households, commercials, buildings, etc., via technologically driven partnerships that makes it boast as top PET's export company in Lagos, Nigeria. He also currently serves as an executive member of the Recyclers Association of Nigeria. He is also co-founder and managing partner of METYM Music, a musical instrument training institute and music studios in Ibadan. He is also co-founder and managing partner alongside his wife of Middle Green Harvest Farms, located in Ofada, Ogun State, and Ilewe, Mr. Seyi Olatubosun.
Thank you very much. I'm so honored to grace this this platform, and I'm also grateful to the committee that has given me this opportunity to speak to us on keys to innovate, scale, and thrive as an entrepreneur. On a lighter note, anytime I'm asked to give my profile or my bio, I don't know whether to laugh or to cry, because you tend to look back at where you started from and where you are, and you're just grateful to God. And I'm grateful to God, and I'm grateful to each and every one of us that has made today, also a memorable one. I'll be speaking from my heart and speaking practically, but I'll be speaking to context with one of the companies that I own. That's KIC Cleaners Limited, and also using my slides as a guide. I don't know if the slides are available. Types of economies in Nigeria. The very first one is the one that we are currently living in. The second one is the one that we are praying to God to live in. And I must be very honest with you, nobody is going to create the perfect economy for you like yourself. That is just the truth. Nobody is going to create the perfect economy like yourself. You have the key. You have the power to create your own economy. And what we want to talk about this afternoon are keys to innovate, scale, and thrive, and as an entrepreneur. But I must also quickly give a context that being an entrepreneur is different from being a business person. A lot of times, people are businessmen or businesswomen, and they mistake it and say, away from the norm, something totally different, creates their own trends and lives with it. While a businessman or a businesswoman will follow existing trends. Okay? Now, what we're going to be talking about this afternoon will definitely see us, thrive both as entrepreneurs or even as businessmen and women. But we should not make a mistake to think that they both mean the same thing. Entrepreneurship is different from being a business person. Okay, so let me just read from here, and then maybe when we have the slides, we can. So what does innovating mean? Innovation means creating what matters. I own a plastic recycling company in Lagos, and within the space of 3 years, we've been able to scale into Ibadan in Oyo State and Ede in Osun State. When I came into the space, I didn't come into the space because I understood the space. No. I came in as a waste management consultant because I had seen and I had used waste in building construction. I am firstly an engineer, okay, so I have used waste, eggshells, palm kernel shells, this thing that we soak inside soup, periwinkle, yes, and they are called pozzolans in construction. Okay, you can use them in concrete work. So I understood a little bit of waste management, some of the things. So when I came into the plastic recycling, it's not like as if I understood plastic recycling so much. I came there because I wanted to create something out of it. But that creation did not start immediately because I still had to learn the trade and to learn the trend. So innovation means creating something that matters. And the very first type of thinking we should have is the problem first thinking. The previous speaker talked about identifying. You get to meet people and they tell you, look for a problem around you and solve it. And you'll be like, which problem? What problem again is left? And let me quickly track back and say KIC Cleaners Limited did not start as a recycling company. It started as KIC Cleaners Enterprise, which was basically just a cleaning company. Cleaning, janitorial, pest control. And then we scaled up and we now have the KIC Cleaners Enterprise separate, and then we have the KIC Cleaners Limited separate, okay? So I was looking for a problem. They said we should go and look for a problem. I did masters in facilities management, and throughout my 18 months during my masters, our lecturers kept telling us, look for a problem. So you just wake up one morning and say, God, give me a problem. You're looking for a problem, and you don't know which one to find outside. It was hunger. It was what? Hunger. A big pamini. I was hungry. What happened? To Cape Town, and that was in March in 2018. When they said some salary only, I just paid salary. So imagine that your salary had just been paid, and then you had nothing left. So it was what? It was hunger. So when hunger hit me, I saw a problem. I found a problem. But what I'm trying to say is that you won't always find a problem from hunger, yeah. But what I'm trying to say is that there is a problem everywhere. What we are looking for is, we are looking for the one that has not been solved. And that is where the mistake comes from. Look, somebody might be solving a problem that you have found, but they are solving it in a different way. Are we together? So when we started KIC Cleaners, we wanted to come into the cleaning space. But then we had some companies who were already cleaning bigger places. So the question was, how were we going to compete with them? So first of all, we had what? We had found a problem. What we needed to now do was, are we together? They start with pain points. I found a pain point and I discovered that, look, there are problems around me and I can solve it. The next thing is to fall in love with the problem and not the solution. And that's why I said, you are not trying, not everybody is solving the problem the same way. You've got to look at the problem and look at it from a different perspective. Okay? So, first of all, you have to think problem. The second one is customer obsession. You need to deeply understand your users, their habits, their frustrations, and their desires. When we went to our very first cleaning client was my head girl in secondary school. And that was many years ago. So we had started the cleaning company, but we did not have a job. So what I started doing was, where I was living then in Agege, I would set the camera and clean the staircase and make it look like as if someone hired us to clean, right? And then do a video and then post it. And then say that. So what I had done was to create awareness of what I was doing. So when she called me and said, oh, you guys are a cleaning company, and I said, yes, we do cleaning. She said, can you come and clean my house? I said, yes. I called a friend of mine with whom I did masters with, and I gave him the phone to do camera. And then I was talking. I said, now we are approaching K2, and now we are going there. I was documenting it. And then when we got to her house, she said, I want to clean this. I said, we do fumigation too. We have never done it before. Taking it away. What I understood was she was having a cockroach frustration. Are we together? What did she call me to come and do initially? She called me to do what? To clean. Then I understood that she needed cockroach fumigation. So I said, okay, don't worry. Oh. When someone asks you, won't that mean service? So, do you understand what I'm saying now? So what I had done was I was able to relate with what she wanted, with the budget she had, and then I tweaked my service. Are we together? So I said, we have deep cleaning service, fumigation is complimentary. She said, hey, you should have started with that now. So imagine if I was going to clean at the time a 3-bedroom flat for 65,000 naira, right? And then she wanted fumigation, and then I told her we offer deep cleaning service, and I told her your bill is 85,000 naira first. Okay, so we went there, and then feedback. Now, at the moment, I do not run KIC Cleaners Enterprise, and I will get to why I said so. My wife runs that edifice now because I had to move on to other things. And one of the things that she created was a Google link, whereby at every time we service a client, we'll be asking for their balance after the job, right? What we were asking for is your feedback first, because that helps us to know whether we even did your job very well. And then it gives the client a sense of belonging, and that these guys are not just after the money. So I've talked about problem first, thinking about a problem and finding a problem. Customer obsession. You must be obsessed with the desires of your customer, not what you think you should be doing. And one of the things I've also learned in business is that as knowledgeable as you are, as brilliant as you are, as professional as you are, you don't know it all. You are on a job. Take, for example, you get to a house that has a matte tiles. in the kitchen, and honest to God, you've never cleaned a mat tiles before. Or, okay, let me even share a live example. We went to an old house in Ebutemeta. There are some fathers today that it is that terrazzo they want in the house. Their children has called them from UK, from Canada. They let us renovate the house and put tiles. No, it is that terrazzo they want. And then we were there and we wanted to clean terrazzo. And we are taking our chemicals and taking everything and we are mixed. The terrazzo was not shining the way we wanted it to shine. And then the client came and said, you guys have tried your best. What if you guys do this thing? You will use it, but we also wanted to test this first. You need to you need to own your game on the spot. Let's now use it with this, what you brought. I said, yes, that was just it. And then he said, remember that thing you people use for me? Please use it for him. And then he helped us. We did 4 houses in that Ebutemeta station. And we did 2 of those houses every year. Okay? So you need to learn to be obsessed with the desires and the frustrations of your customers. The third one I said is agility and experimentation. Build fast, test fast, fail fast, and learn faster. Now, I'd come into the recycling space. Olusosun, which is just close by, is like the hub of waste in Lagos, right? And I wanted to go and buy plastics from the dump. And when I went there, listen very carefully. I went there and I took about maybe 500 or 600,000 there. And they were going to sell a kilogram of plastic to me at 200 naira per kilogram. And I had 600,000. So I was going to buy about 3 tons, that's 3,000 kilograms of plastics from there. Yes? So I looked at it, and then we had done the plus and minus. I was going to rent a truck from Olusosun to Bega, at 75,000 naira. I discovered that about 1.2 of the 3 tons of plastic I bought was water and stone. Are we together? We bought 3 tons, but about 1.2 was what? Water and stone. How do you? And ladies and gentlemen, I was running on loan, no. You understand? So for every naira that was leaving, I was calculating the money I was going to pay back. It was that day I could not eat. You just go home, you just walk on my corner, I failed that day, but I did not stay. A lot of us see failure as failure. Failure is not failure. Failure is a tool, honestly. And failure is failure is almost a greater tool than money. Why? It's because with money, it can break friendships. Money can deceive you. When you have money, take for example, in the construction industry, someone tells you that he wants to build you would have forgotten that labor is there, material is there, and contingencies. You understand? Failure is a tool. Why? Because with failure, if you can learn from it, you have seen a way in which you will not do that thing again. So the next time I went to that place, I now went like a jagaban, and I got there. And then I started choosing what I wanted. Yes, we lost some money, but that was like a learning curve for us. So we learned fast from our failures. A lot of us, we stay on our failures. Now, when the Bible said, remember not the former things, not that one. When Paul said, one of the things I do not consider is, I do not consider, you understand, but I press on. When preachers are preaching, a lot of times, they use it to tell you that you don't look at your past successes. It's not just the successes. Even don't look at what? The past failures too. Just get up and move on. Okay, so you need to build fast, learn fast, and fail fast. Okay? So then another thing for us for innovation is to leverage on technology. I must be honest with you. If you're looking at my slides, can you put up my slides again? You see that my slide, I'm not a tech person. I don't lie about it. You understand? I don't lie about it. I have used some phones in this, my small experience in life, that I know that I did not use those phones. You understand? When you buy a phone, phones are expensive these days. If you buy a phone of more than 500,000, you should be able to know how the phone was built. That's when I know you've used the phone. You understand? But there are some phones that, I have a phone that has a stylus pen. I've never used the stylus pen before. You understand? So I'm not a tech person. But then I discovered that tech is what is emerging right now. So look at it. Is it shocking you the way you're looking at it? Yes. All right, so it's just bland. But what I did was to get people around me, a team that understands how to use this. You understand? I'm speaking with you now, and I'm being recorded live by a team. You understand? There's a mic on me. And I normally would not think about it. I just go and talk and go. You understand? By the end of today now, for as many of you who have my personal Instagram, for a place like that in Olowora, that same experience the man had. We had that same experience. But how did someone in the UK find that person? Even we in Nigeria have not found the person. And it's through tech. Okay, so you need to leverage on AI, digital platforms. I do not have a personal TikTok account. I do not like it. You understand? But for all of my businesses, we are on TikTok. You know the funny thing? A lot of people see me on our TikTok business account and think I'm the one actually doing all, and I'm not the one. So you see them sending messages and say, hello, sir, please, sir. I'm actually not the one. I don't even respond to those TikTok. I don't have a personal TikTok account. I don't have a Snapchat account. All I have is our olden days, God-given, 1620 Facebook. You understand? That is where you will see me, because the people that, those fathers and mothers, they're on Facebook. Many of them are not on Instagram. They're just coming to Instagram. Now, I have an Instagram, and I have Twitter to go and laugh after a stressful day. I don't use it for anything. And then I have LinkedIn. Okay, but I've discovered that we make more sales from TikTok engagements than LinkedIn. Is it LinkedIn? I'm sorry to say, it's a place where you go and show off. You understand? We just scored a certificate from the Ora Roberts University, and then you put yourself in a suit. But when I want to sell market, I go to TikTok. So please learn to use technology. Okay. Innovation versus imitation. And then the person goes and starts dancing in front of a camera. It's working for that person. You know, when you go and do the same thing, you become a copycat, yeah? There's a way you can dance. I will do some other things. There are so many trends that you could jump on that could work for you, okay? And that it felt like it was rapping in Hausa, and it trended on TikTok. And then my team just jumped on it and just used it, and then we used it to sell something. Are we together? So we need to look for trends, but don't copy them. Recycle the trends. Are we together? Recycle the trends. Now, let me go to the next one, scale. What does scaling mean? Scaling means growing beyond survival. My pain point was hunger, but I needed to grow beyond hunger. I needed to grow to a level whereby I will not come to a point again where hunger is still my problem. Are we together? I have challenges right now, to be honest with you. But you know, hunger was the first one, but hunger is no longer the challenge. Now I've moved to another one. You understand? I will still move to another one, because the more you scale, the more the challenges. There will always be challenges. So, what did I say? Yes, systems over hustle. A lot of people call themselves, we are hustlers, we are hustle. So people that hustle are the people that look for daily 2K. Are we together? So if everything you are doing is to be able to survive for the day, that is hustle. But when you move from surviving for the day to surviving for the month, to surviving for the quarter, that is what? Scaling up. And the previous person said multiplication. Multiplication is scaling up. Okay, so you cannot scale chaos. You can only build processes early. And I'll share how we build processes. I've had a mentor in my space for more than, it's now 15 years that I've had this mentor in my space. And at every phase of my life, he has mentored me in different capacities. Now, when it was time to scale up, personally knowing some people that they don't even know that I exist. People like Bolaji Balogun, people like Nike Ogunlesi, These people did not know. They don't even, I don't know if they know me, Sha. You understand? But I started following them. And then one of my spiritual mothers, who is here, saw and you have to be visible. So she saw my WhatsApp status, and she's here. She's Pastor Mrs. Lydia Ademo. Please, let's clap for her. There's a reason why I mentioned it because I'm coming back there. The man mentioned something about relationships. So then she said, it's almost time for you to scale up. And then I said, amen. You know, it felt like a prayer. You understand? And then 2 days later, my mentor calls me from UK. He said, someone is in the UK. I don't know what he was doing there. But then he called me. That means something going on in the spirit. At that moment, I knew that I needed to build up a process and a structure. So I went to go and meet her. That thing you were saying, maybe it's not, it was a prayer to me, maybe it's not prayer. You understand? And then we set up a structure. Okay, so it wasn't about hustle now. It was about setting processes in place. Okay, so let me run quickly. She now took me to a process and told me, you have to document this, document that. Now, when my mentor came back from UK, he was now telling me the same thing that she was telling me. And I said, sir, I've started working on it, trying to document this, document that. And he said, tell her to give me a call. And I said, okay. And then he said, no, let me just call her. It was just a call. And the life of our recycling company changed for good. Just we could document data. In our recycling company, I can tell you how much we spend on electricity goes out to pick up recyclables. We document the cost of fuel per kilometer. And those are the things that investors want to see that will attract them. I ran the business as a one-man show for about 1 year. And all of the grants that I applied for, they told me a big no. Understand? Yes. It felt like, imagine sending mails. You know the one annoying thing is when you're applying for this grant, you get to a point where they say, give a 300-word motivation or give a motivation letter. Can you imagine? It's always tough for me. Motivation letter is the toughest thing I've had. I still wrote one yesterday. You understand? Because you now start trying to motivate the person that you don't know is going to read it. It was a problem for me. And that time, I'm not a tech person. I don't know how to use AI to write motivation letter. Until that yesterday, I plastered AI there. So I kept getting no. The moment we set up a structure, we got the big document operations. Yes, building the right team. I said that because, when they read my profile, you saw that I'm kind of a man with many hats, okay? And I started experiencing burnout, okay? So I had to start building a team. But building a team meant I had to look for people who were going to understand the vision and run with the vision, okay? So internally, I built a team on trust. Now, we have a music school and a music studio in Ibadan, and I don't travel like I used to travel before because life is happening to me. I'm growing every day. Before, I travel without thinking, but now I think before traveling. You understand? So it's there. When we started the recycling firm, I wanted to bring in somebody that I could entrust because every other day, I'm on the construction site. So I brought in my immediate younger brother, who was also looking to scale up his life personally. And I said, okay, look. Wow. And he said, yes. Every day. Say, for example, there are some people that will call me for cleaning. But that means I have to divide myself into three because while I'm going, another person is calling me to go and check something. And then I brought in my wife. So the place that I can go that has value, my wife can go with the same what? With the same value, yeah? So we started building that team. And that was internally. Now, externally is building a board of directors, which was facilitated by my mentor. I would not like to mention his name so that I don't cast the whole thing. But then, this mentor brought in a board where you have about 6 or 7 directors. He has brought in the larger set of directors. What I'm saying is that the people he brought in, you are praying that God will put you one day in a room with them. And I wasn't ready to them. And then we formed a board of directors. And then, for the first time in my life, I was sleeping with my 2 eyes closed. You understand? Because in the loan that we first took, Funny enough, and these stories are very, very funny because the person that approved our company's first loan is seated here, and he does not even know me. He does not even know me. He's about to go and take another one. And then he build the right team. And you cannot build the right team on sentiment. Look, if the church is not where you will find the right team, please don't go to the church. Let me be very blunt with us. Because there are people in the church that we have employed that did what? That messed us up. Are we together? Yes or no? And then you will now start hearing things that you did not do outside. Look for your team on merit, not on sentiment. Are we together? On what? On merit, not on sentiment. Don't bring your junior sister because she has finished NYC for 3 years and you're just trying to... If she is not going to do the service, do the job, excuse me, sir, let her look for a job somewhere else. So learn to build your team. Hire for capacity and culture, not just for convenience. Okay? And let go of the I must do everything mindset. A lot of young entrepreneurs are micromanagers. You are the one that wants to drive yourself. You are the one who wants to write the operation report. You are the one who wants to do the accounting report. You are the one who wants to go for board meeting. You are the one that wants to do everything. You are the one who wants to dance in front of camera and ring lights. You will burn out. That is the truth. You will burn out. You need to be able to delegate for it to scale. Okay? And then access to capital. Look, taking loan is not witchcraft. And it is not a criminal offense. Before I took that loan, when we took it, I used to hear loan like as if when you take loan like this, CBN will be looking for you every day. That's the way I looked at it. God will give us richest man in Africa, yeah? How many of you have read Making It Big by Femi Otedola? You will see that the man is a big debtor. Yes. And the bank needs you to collect the loan. I think the only problem we have with loan is when you collect the loan without planning to pay it back. If you have a business that you have tested based on the 3 things the former person said, he said desirability, feasibility, and what? Viability. If your business can pass those 3 tests, you will pay your loan. And you will have left. We're giving the loan and we're meant to pay back in 10 months. We paid back our loan in 6 months and we had money left. So a lot of times, loan is not witchcraft. Are we together? Don't take and kill your business. Access to finance can come from different... I'm not a financial person. The finance people will talk about that one. Okay, I'm an operational person. All right, now, there is Realty Genre Consult, there's Midun Farms, there's Me-Time Music, there's Ilewe African Cuisine, and then there is Oluwase Olatubosun as a brand. Now, a few weeks ago, I was in Calabar, invited by the Cross River State Ministry of Environment and UNICEF. You see this UNICEF thing? When we started, I contacted my wife to help me contact a friend who works with UN to give me a link to UN because I know that UN is big on sustainability, but it didn't work. But 2 weeks ago, UNICEF brought me into Calabar because of brand positioning and visibility. Now, the things I am a very conservative person. I don't like camera. I don't like it. So the back home around 7, and I had gotten home, and then my mother-in-law said, when you were leaving this morning, you were saying you wanted to shoot a content. I said, at this night, I am tired. A lot of you have seen that content. I shot it in pain, but I did it. Now, that content has brought in, I don't own it. Because I now have what? I have a board of directors that we could own it. But there's something that I must own myself, and that is what? My brand. Now, I do content on construction. I can tell you there are different, I try my best now for clients that allow me to, in the recycling space, I do content on it, and then I share it. And my personal brand has put me in places that I would never, Children's Day, maybe in 1991 or 1992. You understand? They just carry all of us to NTA that time. You understand? But I appeared on TV 3 times last year. This year. So while you are trying to create a business, create your brand separately. Are we together? So that is now. There is this man. Let me quickly digress. Awolowo Road. That is what Abraham. Last year, December, people just started gifting him money, gifting him this, giving him. You have to find a way to keep you have to move beyond survival. So if I can't take out salary, maybe I should just say it. Since the board came on board at KIC Cleaners Limited, I have not collected one salary. I have not been paid salary. But I have been sustained because I had created a brand that can bring in, income for me. All right, so forgive me because I was giving 40 minutes on paper, but I was giving 20 minutes here. Okay, so sustaining long-term, how to sustain success. All we were doing was polyethylene terephthalate. I apologize to my friend who was about biting his tongue. And then there's been some market trends that have been going up, going down. And then you see, when you go to board meetings, and then when you come out of the board meeting, you do not smile. You understand? And my own board meeting is very, very spectacular because the chairman of the board is my mentor. You didn't do well. There was something I think you should have done better. Please, next time, be like, are we fighting? You understand? You'll be shocked that what's the problem? So you will now finish the board meeting, and then myself and my younger brother, who is the manager, will say, what happened? What was wrong? I said, we have work to do. You understand? Now, what they've done is to separate the business from our personal life. Are we together? And their objectivity is one of the keys, to sustain business. So when I got that kind of feedback in our Q3 meeting last year, I knew that there was a problem somewhere. And we needed to think out of the box. And then we looked at our space. A lot of times when we go to pick up recyclables, people give us other things that are not just plastics. And then we say, why can't we look outside the box? And then we started looking outside the box and brought in more recyclables. If you check our TikTok page, our Instagram page, Green Recycle by KIC, you see that we're doing more than just plastics now. That kind of, you understand it? And that was just it. Our accountant shared the Q1 report with me, I think 2 days ago. And, when you just smile, you're just happy. To thrive, make sure you milk the relationship around you. There are some people around you that can provide the services you need at a budget that you can afford. Now, I'm not seed. Are we together? Now, when it's time for me to scale up, will I say I'm not using that, I'm going to look for another person? Why I'm saying that is because even the accountant of the company, but I've been able to maximize the relationship around me. And why I've also been able to do that is because they're the ones that cannot change the figures. You understand? Imagine if 3 people in your board are pastors. You want to tell them you want to change. How will you change it now? You can't change it. There's discipline. So I have been able to milk the relationships around me, that has made us financially false views of things. You understand? Instagram, some people have 2,000 followers on Instagram, but every time they post, the comment is no more than 3. That means there's a problem, yes? That means most of the times they bought those followers, yeah? And a lot of times as entrepreneurs, we want to show people what we actually are not. You want to show people, you go and pick up a picture from somewhere and put it as your picture. Someone has used our intellectual content as their own before. You can't do that. The house you did not build as an engineer, don't go and post it. That is vanity. Be sure of where you are standing so that you are sure of the growth you are expecting, right? Okay, so let me quickly just rush. Burnout kills businesses. Please, as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, someone who is trying to grow, make sure you delegate. You learn to delegate. You can easily burn out as a young person. I have experienced it before. In fact, I must be honest with you. Since I started working after I graduated from school, I had never gone on a leave before, ever. I've never taken a leave. It was just this mindset that you just have to work. And the reason why is because I felt like anytime I'm not there, things will not go the way as planned. But when you build a team that understands your vision, you are rest assured that you can go and the London Bridge will not fall. Are we together? All right, so in closing, let me quickly state that innovation gets you started. Scaling gets you noticed. But thriving makes you unforgettable. Thank you.
Please let's put our hands together one more time for Mr. Shea. Thank you very much, sir. That was an amazing section. There's one thing I took away is your branding is important. Your personal branding is important. I know I've worked with a couple of CEOs that they'll tell me, just push the company. Don't worry about me. Don't worry about my face. But let me tell you, as a Gen Z, we want to know you. We want to see your face. We want to know about you, your personality. So it helps us better adapt to your company. So you're the first person we see. You're the first person we relate with. So when you see most people who are trying to create content, dance, talk about something, or just, give an advice or something, and their own businesses, they are trying to put themselves out so that we get to trust them enough to buy from them. So personal branding is actually very important. Can we just put our hands together one more time for Mr. Shea? That was amazing. All right, so we're going to be going into the next section. This second section is themed business scaling and funding. And this is a very important section. I remember from section, we are first going to have Mr. Kingsley Eromyong-Ale, the MD of White Cross Finance Company. He's going to be here to give us his session. And then right after, we're going to have the Sterling Bank representative, Mr. Olufemi Adewusi. Please let's put our hands together for Mr. Kingsley as he comes up.
Thank you, everyone. She did a good job by pronouncing my surname well. I thought I was going to make some good money out of you by suing you for defamation of name pronunciation or something. Stories, and I'm glad that this is my second opportunity to stand on this glorious and powerful altar. The first time I came, I was in paid employment. I'm coming back again, I think. So, let me prepare the background for my own section. And please, I want you to listen very well. Because everything here is still about kingdom ideas. So when we talk about innovation and scaling in a kingdom context, we are not just talking about growth. We are talking about stewardship. I'm so excited that for everyone that have taken turn to speak on this altar, we seem to have more like a correlation of ideas. And so I just we are talking about stewardship. How well we manage the resources God entrusts to us so that this impact can reach further. Around the world, we see powerful ideas, ministries, businesses, and social initiatives that start strong but struggle to sustain or scale. Not because the vision is wrong, but because the financial foundation is weak. Finance, when rightly understood, is not unspiritual. It is a tool that enables obedience, expands reach, and sustains impact. My focus today is finance and scaling, practical growth frameworks, and how we can innovate wisely, scale responsibly, and strive sustainably for kingdom impact, underlined. Because if the mission is global, the system supporting it must be scalable. We must have that understanding. And I think I will just tell you my story. And by the time I'm done with my story, I'm sure I will have been able to at least do a little justice to this topic. At the point in time when I was MD of a particular finance company here in Lagos, and thank God that we are Christians, and we are not just Christians. Thank God that the Holy Spirit is there to guide us. It's a rare privilege. A lot of people get it wrong because they are not opportune and privileged to have the Holy Spirit to guide you. There's nothing like having the opportunity of God giving you direction. you won't fail. Even when you fail, you will rise up again. So I was in paid employment and I did my job well. I think I learned that a lot, that whatever God has given to you, either as an entrepreneur or intrapreneur, please, I'm saying this because of the Gen Zs here, do it well. A lot of you that we employ in recent time, we are not doing well. Some of you rather want to sit in the office and put that thing that you put on, listening to music, doing that. So you need to do it well. And in the course of doing my job well, I didn't know that some people were watching me because there were interactions as CEO of a finance company. I was traveling to Abuja, traveling to different states, doing also the parts. I thought about, okay, after paid employment, what do I want to do? The only business that I know is finance. And I started talking to one or two people about my plans. And some said, Kingsley, if you come up with this write-up, up to today, this person does not know who my father, my mother is, and does not even know where I live. If you come up with this plan, I wouldn't mind putting this money. And honestly, that substantiates what Uncle Boy said to us about a client giving him money. And I'll be honest to you, mine wasn't in millions of dollars. But for a poor boy from, my name stipulates that I'm from Edo State, but I grew up in Oshogbo. A poor boy, coming to Lagos, I said, wow, this must be God speaking. And then my friend who just left said something about people. I have a wife who is also in the finance industry. And at that point, we looked at our salaries. We were both in the same company when we got married. We looked at our salaries because I was the CEO, I was earning more than her. And I said, will you resign and go and start managing White Cross? And she trusted me. We have a small family, so the issue of school fees didn't come up. And she resigned. And we looked for a very small shop somewhere in Saboyaba. Got a very small, 2 shops, joined together. And that was how we started. I'm giving you these stories so that you also understand how to scale. And that was how we started in 2 shops. The first year, half into the second year, I had to leave paid employment to join her. And the business continued. And then over time, because I am the dream owner, and that is why the prayer for every business that I pray for every business owner here today is, may God give you the strength, the good health, and the long life to see your dream becoming a legacy. It is very important. So because I'm the dream owner, the moment I came in, the space, the condition could not contain me. And then we started looking for a bigger office. Getting a bigger office also means that we also want to scale up in terms of people, recruiting additional hands. Now, it's a finance business. If you cannot manufacture money, then you don't have resources to run a finance company. Because what it means to give out loans to people given to me was part of what we use in getting the license from CBN and so many other things. So there was need for money. So when you talk about finance and you want to talk about, and you also talk about scaling up, then there are certain things that you must have. People in terms of network. Uncle Boye mentioned about maximizing, and my friend who just left talked about making the people around you. I would rather want to use the word instead of making, maximize the relationship around you. If you have also not be diligent in the act of stewardship. You can't reap from where you have not sown. Honestly, it's a natural law. In the cost of your stewardship, can people trust you with their money? Have you shown diligence in the course of your stewardship? There is no magic in kingdom principle of creating wealth or generating finance. I must be honest to you. There's no magic. So if you are unlucky to be someone who was just lazy throughout the period of stewardship, you don't know that people are looking at you. So when you go to meet them that you need support, they will just look at you. The opportunity, need for finance, and there was need to scale up. Honestly, I relied on, I have so many fathers. I have 2 of them in the house today. I have so many fathers. Fathers that God has given to me because God understands that for the type of dream that He has given to me, I require people to push me. And I relied so well on them. And it was a matter of, we can trust you. Because while you were in paid employment, we saw what you were able to do. So we should be able to support you. And the support started coming. The support started coming. Beyond that support, I will also be very honest with us today that because if your dream is global, you get to a point where the type of finance that is required goes beyond what family and friends can give to you. There is nothing evil in taking loans. Dangote is said to be the richest man in Africa today. Do diligence very well in such a way that you know how to manage the money that you get through lending or through borrowing. Do you have your visibility report and studies in such a manner that you know how to apply those money? Because I have done finance for quite some time, I understand that there are people who are extremely very indisciplined when it comes to money. I've seen people come to the banks to take loan to finance certain jobs, but the moment the money hits their accounts, that's when they think of buying a new car. Some might even have to marry a second wife from such funds. So for you as a business person, it's extremely very important that even when you go out there to take a loan, you must understand the application of that loan. Because the loan that you refuse to put into your business is impossible for the business to multiply and be able to repay back the loan. It's very key. So like I said, you get to a point in the course of your business and seeking for finance that what you get within family and friends might not be enough. And then for us in White Cross, we got to a point where I sat down in my office one day, and one of my fathers, who happened to be one of my directors, came into my office and said, Kingsley, and this is the truth about life, please. This friend said something about personal branding the last time. Requires a lot of optics, and I will break optics down to say it comes with a lot of perception. How do people see you? Today, he's a big man. He has made a lot of money. But why do you think he's still there in all the social media handles, posting, if he's having a meeting with the president, he's in Kenya, he's in this, you see it posted on his LinkedIn pages. That is what we call the personal branding. So my director said to me that, motto, I'm saying it to you about, because that is why I said it. Motto mejeji to nko kakiri won o le taja o. Won le taja bi bawo. I had a GLE white because I love white color. Then a Highlander, Toyota Highlander, that was given to me where I used to work. Money, and go and buy a very good car. CCTV camera. What type of car did he bring? Do you understand? That is it. And that is why I'm telling you my story. It's a different thing if I go to Reverend Adeleke, he knows me, he knows my mother, or I go to my daddy, Adigbite, Omo Yamina, Omo Bugwe. But because the dream is global, I can't put my burden on both of them too much. So I need to seek for finance outside my immediate relationship. It was like an angel spoke to me because I realized that there are meetings I've gone to on the island especially. Despite that I'm looking well-dressed in my usual white kaftan like this with good cap, the security man will say, tell your driver to go and park there. Then you can walk in. I said, but I came to see the MD. Okay, there is no space to park inside. No problems. That happened a few times. And then the first meeting I went for with the Range Rover, I won't mention the name of the company, in VIA. The Range Rover was delivered. The security, apart from opening the door for me, saluted me. I went into the meeting with the MD. After the meeting with the MD himself saw me out to my car. Perception. Saw me out from his office to my car. And in the year 2025, that company raised 1 billion naira for my company. Do you understand? And that is the environment that we find ourselves as entrepreneurs and as businessmen. You must, at every point in time, realize that because you are the dream owner, you carry the brand of the company. And for everything that you do, it affects the company. I turned 50 on Monday. And for more than 2 months, my wife kept on asking me, you need to celebrate. It's 50. It's milestone. It's a big party will put me out there. And some people who gave me money as investment will think, our money is not safe with this guy. Look at the big party that he had. What is the assurance that he's not become a custodian of people's resources? You are also accountable to them. Responsible. As a Christian, regardless of what you do in the corporate society, you must also understand that those resources, the intelligence, the talent, the gifts that God has bestowed on you is for the purpose of kingdom enlargement. Very key. So decisions that you take as CEO, as entrepreneur, not until when you start seeing it as a subset of the kingdom development mechanism, you are not getting it right. Okay. So, and that was it. So over time, we also, that is where the issue of technology also comes in for scaling. As a finance company, we invested into technology. We have a mobile app. We are there on all the social media, ensure that we have very smart young guys managing the social media unit and the rest. And I will tell you, what are the benefits of technology? Now, our brothers and sisters in the diaspora, because of the stability in FX, the predictability in FX, my company is a beneficiary, and I'm being honest to you, a lot of our brothers abroad are now expatriating money into Nigeria for investment. I'm telling you, it's simple. If you look at what has happened to the FX rate in the since beginning of this year, the changes have been very predictable. So, conveniently, someone can just throw in 100,000 per annum. By the time that investment matures after 1 year, they can conveniently repatriate that money back in dollars to the US and still make something extra. You cannot scale in the business. I am of the opinion that you don't have to be the master of the business or the market. You must continuously be a student in the industry that you operate, because there will always be new things to learn. You must be open, very open to learning. There are new things to learn. And that is how to scale in any business that you find yourself. Sorry, how many minutes do I have? How many minutes do I have? How many? Just 2 minutes. Really? That was fast. 20 minutes is gone. Okay. Okay, because I don't let me extend my timing. I'm sure there will be time for question and answers. So, if I have 2 minutes, so let me just quickly leave us with this. To innovate is to respond creatively to God's calling. To scale is to extend that calling beyond ourselves. Let me tell you something that is personal to me, please. I had the privilege of living in the UK for 5.5 years. Came back into Nigeria in 2009, April. And a lot of my friends that I left behind were saying, what are you going to Nigeria to do? I said, well, I came here with the intention of qualifying as a chartered accountant. And the moment I was able to achieve it, I started planning my way back home. Now, what shaped my decision to leave the UK? It's my personal opinion. Things are changing now. But then, if you really have a global destiny, the economy abroad is not good for you because it's a structured and regimented economy. I learned that a very long time ago. So to scale is to extend that calling beyond ourselves. To strive is to ensure the work outlives us. That is where the issue of legacy comes in. Finance is not the enemy of kingdom. Finance is not the enemy of the kingdom, in part. It is its servant. When innovation is guided by insight, kingdom ideas don't just be inspired by heaven, but struck the nation. If the gospel of Jesus Christ was not meant to be scalable, there wouldn't have been the disciples. Thank you very much.
Mr. Kingsley, as he goes to take his seat. That was amazing. If the ministry of Jesus was not more into the world, right, to the ends of the earth, preaching the good news, telling them about the kingdom of God. So Jesus scaled his ministry. Glory to God. Hallelujah. Okay, so now we are going to have Mr. Olufemi Adewusi for the next 30 minutes, telling bank to us, who is one of the partners for the TSF Business and Innovative Summit. Can we please welcome him with a round of applause?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm a little bit shy, but please forgive me. My name is Olufemi Adewusi. I work with Sterling Bank. I manage the direct sales team, business scaling, and financing. And I'm so happy, as in the scaling side, and go deep more. Very young. We live in Oshodi. So there was a mom and pop shop very close to our house, owned by a man that we call Baba Jude. Baba Jude is the one that supplies bread. You go to Baba Jude. You want to buy beverages, you go to Baba Jude. So, in reality, Baba Jude was selling when I was in primary school. It's the same way I saw Baba Jude when I was in university. The shop did not go beyond that same small shop. Even if some of the content on the counter began to reduce. And the truth is, this is the reality of a lot of businesses in Nigeria. Amen? Sorry, I might be using a lot of Christian word. Please flow with me. Amen? Okay. So, businesses here need loan. If you need loan, just do like this. Okay. It's only my sister there that is confident. Okay. Some of us are shy. Maybe because of what we had earlier, we don't want to raise our hand. Or a lot of businesses in Africa believe that their number one need is loan. True or false? True or false? It's true. And the reality is, what you actually need is not loan. Loan is a fuel. Loan, or let me use the right word, funding. I'm building a house, and I'm ensuring that the foundation of the house I build is solid. Because if the foundation is not solid, if I like, let me bring the best architect, the best interior designer, and everybody they do. What will happen to that house after some time? It can collapse. That is the same way it is for your business. The scaling and everything that all the previous speakers here have been speaking about is you building the foundation of your business. So that when loan or funding comes, if the fund to come, people will be admiring the house. They'll be, I love the house. And that is how it is in business. If the foundation, scaling everything is processes, people, product, market fit, everything is spot on by the funding, and you get and you use for that business, it will help that business to scale more. But if the foundation is wrong, you go and get funding. That funding is just to accelerate the problem that you have. Or let me use another word. If there's poison in something and you go and get funding, funding is the accelerator that will help that poison to spread faster. So before you get funding, ensure that your business has the proper structure, the proper process. Now, we've been talking about scaling. The way I will just talk of my own scaling. Suya Sports opens 3 more branches. One in Surulere. Open the 3rd one in Lekki. Lovely suya, you enjoy it. You now go to the one in Yaba, the same brand name. You buy the suya. The taste is completely different. The service you receive is different from the one you got in Yaba. You live there, you go to the one in Lekki, you find out again. Everything is completely different from the other 2 you've gone to. So, what has happened to that business is that the business has grown, but it did not scale. When you scale, everything, it must be close to 100 similarity. Similarity in service, similarity in excellence, similarity in your product. That is scaling. And you understand that. So what that means is that you've put in the right processes, the right documentation. I think it was the first person that was saying that, and as he said, I was just writing. Because I remember, even where I work or where I've worked before, there must be documentation. They call it standard operating procedure. If I come into your company today, if I ask for your SOP, and your staff that has been working with you for 10 years ago can do, that's standardization. If I can't do it, if I come and I ask, and it is not that book or that documentation that is telling me, and I ask somebody that is there, what you will find out is that what that person will tell me will be different from what you told him. And by the time somebody else comes, what I will tell that person will be different from what you're supposed to do. And at the end of the day, you would have different situations. Scaling, we have people, process, products, and market fit. And the last one, which I'm going to talk about fully now, is capital. And capital is the fuel. So I wrote here that without the first 3 are the people, the process, and the product and market fit. Without those first 3, if you get capital, capital only accelerates problem. With the first, now I asked the question, I said how many one of us needed money. So if you come to me and you say, I need a loan or I need money, the first question I'll ask you is, what do you need the money for? If you tell me that I need the money to grow my business, no, you don't need money. Your need for that money must be specific. It must be specific. I want to buy a machine. Why do you want to buy the machine? You must be able to say it clearly, confidently. I want to buy a machine to increase my output because my demand has already outstripped my current production. Do you see what I've explained? There's no, even if you explain to someone that is stupid, you understand that there's a gap. The gap is that you cannot meet your demand. And therefore, you need to increase your capability or your capacity of production. And you need to get more machine. Now, rushing a bit because my time is short. There are different funding options. And depending on where your business is, determines the kind of funding that you need. If you just set up your business this year, you don't have any business or any going to a bank to ask them for a loan. Your business is still a startup. There's what we call, I know the Gen Zs should know this, there's what we call bootstrapping. Bootstrapping says save money, use some of your own money to start small. Now, I even go from bootstrapping to family strapping. What does family strapping mean? It's me that set it up. Family strapping means I go to my family, immediate family members that I know that have some little bit of financial muscle. I tell them, this is my business. This is what I'm selling. This is where my customers are. This is how much I sell it. This is my markup. This is after I deduct all my expenses, this is my profit. And the beauty of family giving you money is that they give it to you at zero interest, most times. Now, there are other loans. There's bank credit, term loans, overdraft. Those are the ones from the bank. There are also some people out there that are investing in business that they see that has potential. Angel investors, venture capitalists, they are all there. And they are investing in businesses. The problem, or don't let me say the problem, the culture that we've developed in Nigeria is we want to run before we can walk. How many of us know Money Point? We know Money Point. We've been working with almost every bank in Nigeria. Yes. They were working with us. They were our, our vendor. They were a technology vendor to us. But all those times, they were learning. They were learning. They were increasing in their skill. They were increasing in a lot of things that we banks did not. It was there with us, but we didn't see it. They saw it. And they went back that this is a problem that banks have been unable to solve. We are IT guys. We should be able to solve this. And they came up, they came up with a solution, started selling it, and before you know what was happening, Money Point, I'm ashamed to say it, but they are a big competitor to every bank. And they've become a unicorn. They are getting funding, not even from Nigeria. There are people that are begging them, let me fund your business. They went through the process. You must also go through the process for you to be able to get to that point. So, apart from all the fundings I've mentioned, there's also developmental fundings, BOI, NASA, DBN, all these funds are lower cost, and most times they go to startups and special kind of businesses that are particular in some particular area, like agriculture, things that relate to women. You get special funding at single digits. That means it's from 9% and below. But all this funding, before you can get it, like I said, your foundation must be in place. Now, there's something that I want to share that I call Fundability checklist. Fundability checklist means you yourself, before you approach anybody that I need loan or I need equity, you need to go through this review, analysis, checklist yourself. Number one, my business, is it generating enough cash flow? And what that means is that for anybody you go to meet, most especially the banks, if you come to me and you say, give me loan, I'll be able to pay back. What does that mean? Anybody can come and say, I'll be able to pay back. You need to show proof. And your proof, one of your proof is your cash flow document. Everything you are selling, you must do what? It must be recorded. Even if it is 5 naira, record it. And I think maybe someone has said this before, but let me say it again. Your business must be separate from you. They are two different entities. So you cannot be using your savings account to run your business. You as a person is different from, let me say, TMG Enterprises. TMG Enterprises must have its own account. TMG as a business must pay you. The owner of the business must pay you salary. You are the one, yes, you are the owner of the business. You are the one that will determine your salary. There's no harm in that. But in TMG book, it is recorded that salary was paid to you. That's part of the structure. Because when you get loan, the same way you've been dipping your hand is the same way you will dip your hands also into money that is not your money. You were borrowed. So your business need an account of its own, a current account, to show that, yes, separate entity, I also separate entity. The second thing I wanted to talk about, documentation and structure, is your business register. Now, you cannot come to a bank and say, oh, I run a business, I need a loan. And they ask, what is the name of your business? You know, I say, the name of my business is Olufemi Adewusi. We'll look at you and no, that's not that's you. So, it is also good that you have what we call credit history. For those that have lived abroad, they know what is called credit score. And credit score is very, very critical. Credit score can determine if you will get a loan or not. We don't have credit score in Nigeria, but we have what we call credit bureaus. And what we do with the credit bureaus is we go that you did not pay back. Because of that 15 naira, we will not give you loan. No bank in Nigeria will give you loan because of that 15 naira that you are owing. The advice we will give to you is go and pay down that loan, then come back, we can talk. So, part of your capital is your integrity and your honesty. So when we're also looking at your business, we are looking at governance. Are you the alpha and omega of the business? Or do you have some other people that can keep you in check? If you are the alpha and omega and you come to us and you say, I want to collect 500 million, we will be scared to give you. Not that we are saying you are a bad person, but because there's no governance structure that revolves around your business. Yeah, I said, the question can be asked that what exactly do you need your money for? And you say, I need capital to grow. Is that 30 minutes or 20? 20. Okay, I still have 10 minutes. Okay, thank God. So, capital to grow, I need capital to grow is not, you can say I need 15 million to fund 3 months of receivables. Receivables is, I've sold some things out, they are yet to come back. I just need money to manage that period, pending when they pay me. That makes good sense. We can give you that loan. Now, you also need, there are loans for different, I just want to quickly run a contract and I'll be paid within 1 month. When you engage your bank of loan that you need, a lot of time we see people, they come into the bank, I need overdraft. I need overdraft. Do it. If they take overdraft, is failure from beginning, because there is no way the two will not match. So your loan or the funding type must match your business. And I'll just quickly run through some mistakes that people do when they are trying to get funding. Mistake number, you are already asking for loan, or you are asking for funding. You have approached investors. They will need you to first demonstrate traction. Is this business, your idea, can it produce results? So take time, or like the way I wrote it, I say money follows evidence. Once there's evidence that you can generate results, money will be given to you. Mistake number 2, wrong type of funding. Banker to help you. Mistake number, keep record. Mistake number 4, no financial model. So when you come and you say you need funding or investment, you must be able to show that person that if I collect the money, this is how I'm going to utilize it, month on month, year on year, and this is how it is going to come back, and I'll be able to repay you. Mistake number 5, overvaluation. Some people who just started business that has not sold anything, my total asset is 50 million. Okay, what's the 50 million? Do you have machines? No. Do you have this? Do you have that? No. So what is the 50 million? I just know that business is worth 50 million. No, that's not how it is done. So, for us in Sterling Bank, our aim or our position is we do not want you to scale alone. We want to be your partner. We want to help you to grow. And we have lots of products, services, tools that are available to help businesses grow. So from the point of registering your business, we have a platform that we call TBH. TBH is just like a marketplace where you have people that do business registration, you have tax consultants, lawyers, and all those things. They are all there. So that if you want to do business registration, they will help you to do it end to end. You do not need to leave your room. You just log on to our website and you'll be able to do everything from the comfort of your room. And they will get your business name, business account that is suited for businesses. Like you can see, I'm not the only one here wearing this t-shirt. I have some of my right now is that I remember like 5 years ago, if you want to open a business account, you'll fill form and it can take you like even close to a month before your account number comes back to you. But the beauty is with technology, we can open your account here, give you an account number here, and just follow up with you to collect all the required documents to regularize your account number. Even if you are an individual and you want to open an account, yes, we do that. We'll give you free ATM card. It's free from Sterling. And what we do also is that for individuals, if you do transfer on our banking app, all your transfers, you do it at, Sterling Bank doesn't charge you. We do it free. But the regulatory part of it, like the money that goes to federal government and the other money that goes to all the states, those ones are still deducted. So when I say all the other money, I'm talking of VAT. VAT will still be taken. But our own portion, we've let it go. So those are some of the things we are doing. And we have a digital lending platform called Spectre. Again, maybe I should have told you that we are not just a bank. The way we think, the way we operate, we tend to see ourselves more as a technology company now. We use a lot of technology to drive a lot of things that we do. We want people to be able to sit in the comfort of their home, called Spectre. So on Spectre, from the comfort of your room, you can go online, register, and start the process. Tell them how much you need and how many months do you want to use to pay back. And before you know what's happening, your Sterling account is credited with your funds. There are so many products, so many things. We are one of the key players in the agri industry. We play very well in the recycling space. We have what we call the art sector that we are focused on. The H stands for health, E for education, A for agri, R for renewable energy, and T for transport. So in all those areas, we are there. We have lots of offshoots that are running different stuff. Our head office right now, we are running fully on solar. And we help businesses to, if you want maybe your vehicle, petrol keeps going like this. We don't know the day we'll come back like this. CNG, electric, we do that also. So health, we have, if you have an hospital or anything, we have, apart from loan, we have softwares that we give out free of charge to businesses that are in that space. And same thing with education. Education, we give loans to both the school, the teachers, and the parent to pay school fees. I've tried to use my time wisely so that I don't go beyond my time. Thank you very much.
Please, let's keep clapping for Mr. Olufemi as he takes his seat. Thank you very much. Awesome. Has it been an awesome time so far? Do you agree that it's been an awesome time? Let's put our hands together one more time for Sterling Bank. They are partners for the TSF Business and Innovation Summit. All right, so, we've been on entrepreneurship for a minute, right? And I'm guessing and assuming that our career people, myself inclusive, we've been thinking, so when are we going to get to the career aspect of the Innovation Summit? Well, I'd like to properly inform you that you don't have to worry. Just stay locked in your seat. In some minutes or in about an hour, we're going to have an accomplished human resource leader with over 12 years of experience in the fast-moving consumer goods sector. So don't go nowhere. But coming right up is an amazing woman, Mrs. Abioshe, Department of the Lagos State Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment. And if you'd like to join me, please let's make welcome Mrs. Abioshe. Please let's keep clapping till she gets here. We want to make her feel special. She's looking so pretty. Yummy mommy.
Good afternoon, everybody. So I'm here to represent my permanent secretary, Mrs. Lolade. I know she's unavoidably absent. In fact, as I'm standing here, another person is representing her also in another empowerment program where she has gone to represent the commissioner somewhere. So it's awesome. So thank you all. I am a director. My name is Abiose Taiwo Funlola. I'm a director of entrepreneurship from Lagos State Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment. So I don't know, a lot of people say they don't know us, but we're working because we are the people in charge of the Lagos State graduate informalizing the informal sector to making them to be formal. We work with SME through business support. Then Lagos State Employment Trust Fund is an agency under the ministry whereby we give loan at 9% interest. Then we also have program for the youth. So I'm going to read our presentation. So the mission statement of the ministry is to be an enabled institution that creates sustainable wealth for legal citizens. That is our mission, to be a sustainable institution that creates wealth, enabling institution. And I think we've done that because over time, the ministry was established 11 years ago during the Ambode administration. And we've trained over 15,000 tradesmen and artisans. And we also train over 5,000 youths because we have various programs that cut across everybody. Then the mission of statement of the ministry is to promote and sustain entrepreneurship and employment through effective use of wealth creation strategy and resources by collaborating with all stakeholders. So we work with everybody. Whether you're a government agency, you're a ministry, or you're a business owner, or you're an entrepreneur, you are creating wealth and providing employment. So we work with everybody. So basically, I will just run through our mandate and what we do. So one of the mandates of the ministry is to initiate, to formulate, execute and evaluate policy, set and regulate standards for all wealth creation and employment-related matter in the state to create value chain system. Also to establish job registration center and provision of labor exchange program in each of the 5 divisions. We have job center in all our 5 divisions in Lagos State. We have in Ikorodu, Owutu bus stop exactly. There you can even do mind setting. We have a lot of training that we do there. We have computer training and we have interactions between youth and the people there. Then we have one at Ekpe. We have at Oshodi, Solo. We have at Ojo. So we have in Tiosa as well. So we have in all the 5 divisions where youths, unemployed youth can go in and register themselves. It's that, just like the job center that we have abroad. So you walk in and register. If you're an entrepreneur, you need people, you need laborers, you need people, or you're a company, you need people to work with you. You go there to register. It's a center for both unemployed and organization. Is where we do matching. So we also collect that and statistics on labor, employment, work creation, both in the public and private sector. We promote traditional entrepreneurship and social entrepreneurship. We liaise with relevant ministry and agency, especially Ministry of Commerce, Cooperative, Industry and Trade, and Ministry of Established Services, and consultancy to MSME, craftsmen, tradesmen, and artisan in the state. So basically, we have like 3 interventions that the ministry has, like 3 broad categories of intervention which add streams under it. The unskilled, semi-skilled, non-graduate youth. So for the tradesmen and artisans, we have what we call capacity building to upskill them. Because they are already trained, so we upskill them. They keep complaining, and people complain that they bring Togolese to come and do bricklaying and all this stuff. So we take them last verb. So we take them to school for 8 weeks, and we train them. And after training them, we give them equipment. We train them in being able to compete favorably with others. And we also give them equipment to support the training. So this year we have a leather hub that was commissioned in August at Matori. The leather hub is to is to solve the problem in leather value chain. In that hub, we have a production sector, and we also have shops where people in leather spool, it's equipped for mass production. So if you have a contract to produce maybe NYSC streets, so the ministry is also developing what we call Artisan market, Artisan virtual market project, where you sit in your home, you have the list of all the artisans, that bricklayer, carpenter, that are certified by the ministry, that have gone through the training of the ministry, that have been reskilled. So you just open your app and you check and ask them to come and fix something or the other in your house. So the ministry is in the process of that. We started already, so we'll soon conclude. So the mindset relocation program comes up under the Lagos State Graduate Internship Program, which I've been really asked to speak to. Before you go in for the graduate internship program, you have to go through our mindset reorientation program, because we try to reorient our youth. Over time that we've been established, like we've been established for 11 years, every time we have a youth program and you are asked, when you ask them to come, the first thing they ask you is, what is in it for us? Are you giving us money? And you begin to look at this. They're asking you to come for training free of charge. The state government is going to pay. You are not paying. They even pay your transport cost to come there. They give you lunch. And at the end of the day, you are giving equipment. And yet, what is in it for us? So you begin to wonder. Sometimes those of us working with the youth, we felt, well, the Lord will have mercy. So the program is aimed at transforming the mindset of participants toward positively and self-reliance, with a view to addressing unemployment and creating viable and sustainable paths. We are shifting the mind of the youth from white collar to blue. But now it is better for you to learn a skill, because when you learn a skill, you have a livelihood. Nobody can take your skill from you. Once you pass, you are making your money. But if you are jackpot and you don't have any skill, you are only jackpot to come back. That's the truth of the matter. It's not as easy as people portray it. Especially for people that travel. It is not easy abroad, because you pay for everything. Even if you are not careful, the people abroad will ask you to pay for the air you are breathing. That's the truth of the matter. And increase is overhead. The water, the electricity, especially for those of us that are going there during cold, and we're not used to cold. The room it gives to you. So we have job center, like I said, in 5 job center, Itiosa, Ojo, Ikorodu, Ekpe, Oshodi, to deliver essential services. These services including registration of unemployed graduates for skill acquisition in their areas of interest. Also, we do counseling in all these job centers. We do counseling in all the job centers. So we do counseling in all the job centers. So we have specific program for graduates and youth, which include start rights for MSME. 3 of them went to boot camp. 200 businesses were supported. And everybody that entered that program went home with something. Nobody was left alone. Everybody went home with something. The 50 that went into the boot camp, the first person, they were 50 from 50, they scaled down to 2 each on the final day. And Smedan was part of the people that were our judge. We had people from outside, not from the ministry. And winner went home with 2 million naira. The first runner of 1.5, and the second runner of 1 million naira. While the remaining 700 went home with 250,000 each to support their businesses. Soft skill that will not only make them job ready, but also competent and relevant in today's workplace. Most of our youth, all these things, these are what we do in the ministry for the youth. Then our Baba, which is the Lagos State Graduate Internship Program, is an initiative. Another initiative is the Graduate Internship Program that exposes interns to a particular job, profession, or industry so as to acquire knowledge and skill through first-hand workplace experience, teamwork, initiative, analytical thinking, and communication. Unemployed graduates are placed in various organizations for 6 months with a monthly stipend paid by the state government to the beneficiary. The graduate internship program allows graduates between 0, maybe you just finished, once you are just finished, you have your NYC, and 3 years, separate them. How do we separate them? Some people have come in for the, you know us now. Some people have come in last year or 2 years ago, 3 years ago, and they will still apply. So we sieve those ones out. When we sieve those ones out, we now look at it. So we want graduates, not school start holder. Some school start holder will also apply. So when you now sit down for an exam, there's a particular score you must get before you now go in for the second stage. The second stage is when you go in for this mindset reorientation program and all these skills, soft skills that you'll be taught. So when you are taught that, in between that, they will ask you if you want to be an entrepreneur or you want to go in for a white-collar job. So if you now want to go in for a white-collar job, you'll be attached to an off-taker, because we have off-taker that off-take the interns. We have organizations that will write to the ministry that, I need 10 interns, because it's cheaper for them. The ministry is paying. For the 6 months they are spending with the organization, they are paying. The only thing we ask them is that give them additional money to encourage them, like transport costs, like transport to encourage them. But the state government actually paid them the minimum wage every month. So for those that want to be entrepreneur, so we take them through the skills that we have, the skill training that we have. Some of them go through our business support. Some of them still go. They will have gone through the orientation before they go through the business support. Then some of them go through whatever training, vocational training that the ministry has, so according to their interest. So we take them through those training. So the key objective of graduate internship is skill development, to equip young graduates with critical hard and soft skills, behavioral competency, and emotional intelligence. We have people that come in to teach this. They go through this within 4 weeks before they go finally into the graduate internship program. Why? Because the state government has a reputation. We don't want to send anybody to any organization that the person will be rude. You understand? And we are sending them there so that at the end of the day, this organization can retain them. Over time, some of them have been retained. And some that were retained said they don't want to wait, that they've learned one thing or the other. They want to start their own businesses. And we've been able to help them and also plug them to Lagos State Employment Trust Fund for fund. Then economic growth, to directly reduce youth unemployment in Lagos State while providing micro, small, and medium enterprise and corporate organizations with a groomed talent pool at no cost to the company. So the intern is coming at no cost to the companies. So if you own a company here and you need an intern, please write to the permanent secretary, Lagos State Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment, specifying the intern that you need, the job that the person will be doing, the degree the person needs to have, where your company is. And another thing that we do is we try to make sure that we post the intern closest to their place of residence so that the cost of transporting themselves to work is minimal. So in Lagos State, we have what we call the Teen Plus agenda. So the program aligns with the state government agenda. Specifically, the ministry is in pillar 21st and education and technology, in the 5th and the 6th pillars, that is focusing on education and technology and making Lagos a 21st century. We want to make Lagos a 21st century whereby 24/7 business is going on in Lagos. We don't want Lagos to be a sleeping Lagos. We want Lagos to be an active Lagos. The GIP is structured into 2 main phases to ensure interns are work ready before placement. Intensive pre-internship training. Candidate undergoes several weeks of rigorous employability training, a mix of physical, virtual, and self-paced e-learning. This covers professional grooming, communication, time management, business ethics, and personal branding. Then the internship placement itself. Successful candidates who pass the post-training assessment and match with leading private organizations or selected government ministry, department, or agency for a 3 to 6 month hands-on internship program. Benefit to participants, monthly stipend. Interns earn a state-funded monthly stipend of $75,000 a month throughout the duration of the internship. Career support. Participants receive expert CV review, interview preparation, coaching, and ongoing professional mentorship. Networking. The program offers a platform to connect with industry professionals, potential full-time employers, and a vibrant network of young executives. Certification. Graduates receive a recognized certificate of completion to showcase their newly acquired skill to future employers. Eligibility criteria. To qualify for the GIPP, applicants must meet the following specific requirements. Age limit must be 18 and 35 at the time of application. Education. Possess a minimum of bachelor degree or higher national diploma in any discipline. NYSC status. Must have completed a mandatory NYSC service corps program or hold a valid certificate of exemption. Residency ID. Must be a registered resident of Lagos State with a valid LASTRA. I think we all know what LASTRA is, Lagos State Resident Registration. It's compulsory. For you to qualify, you must live in Lagos because Eko lo lati gbe. Experience. Designed for early career individual with 0 to 5 years of postgraduate work experience. In year 2024-25 cycle of the Lagos State Graduate Internship Program, a total of 2,500 graduates were successfully trained, placed in various private sector organizations and government MDAs across the state. This milestone underscored the program's growing impact in reducing youth unemployment, strengthening workforce readiness, and supporting businesses with skilled, entry-level, talented within the state. So apart from all this, the ministry also has what we call the job fair. Our job fair over years, for the past 2 years now, have been very successful because we ask employers to come in. We have over 1,000 employers with over 5,000 people. We always hold our jobs fair at Lagos LTV 8. We use the whole of the space, both the inside room and the outside. So we bring in people that are looking for employers and employees. So we match them together. So there you scan, you send in your CV, you do everything. So at the end of the day, some people get job automatically, some get interview, some are asked to represent their CV. Praise the Lord. So that is what we do basically in Lagos State Ministry of Work, Creation and Employment. I didn't bother to go through the other one because we're youth. We're youth. But we work with people living with disability. We do entrepreneurship training for them for 4 weeks. When we train them, we also equip them. We work with people in blighted area. In fact, Mr. Governor was so happy about that last year. We went to Olusosun here. We have a video that is still trending on Instagram. That my commissioner, my peers, and myself, we went to Olusosun to scout for people to train. And we trained them, 100 of them last year. This year we have an approval for 200 people that will be training, and we train them and equip them. We train them in the win-win thing: makeup, gele tying, small chops, then barbing. Those were the things that, it's a win-win thing. Everybody cuts their hair. On Saturday, Thursday to Sunday, people do makeup. They do gele, they go to party. And there's always one party that you have to make cocktail or small chops. So those were the things that we did for them. So, and we also work with the Artisan and tradesmen. Thank you. God bless us. I don't know if the organizer will allow me to take my question, because as I'm here, my nephew is getting married, and I'm already running late. So I like to take my question before I take my leave. If there is any question that anybody wants to ask concerning what we offer in the ministry. So you can also see us on Lagos State Government website. When you open Lagos State Government website, you go to Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment. So you see all what we do there. And we're also on Facebook, Lagos Ministry of Wealth Creation and Employment. We're on Facebook, we're on Instagram, we're on Twitter as well. If there is none, thank you. Yes, sir.
I want to thank you profoundly, Ma. By extension, thank the Lagos State government and the ministry for this great initiative. Interestingly, maybe I knew vaguely, but this presentation has given me an opportunity to know more deeply what the ministry is doing. Just a few questions, Ma. Okay, one, regarding the internship in private organizations. If an organization is interested in partnering with the ministry, how does that organization get enlisted or express interest so that that collaboration, you know that this organization is ready and available? And so how...
Let me answer it before you go, because okay. I didn't come with a pen to the podium. So if you are interested to be one of our off-takers, like I said, all you have to do is write a letter to the permanent secretary, Lagos State Ministry of Work, Creation and Employment, that you want to be an off-taker in the graduate internship program, and you specify the people you need that you want in your company. You know, we have different companies. Some people may need chemical engineers, some people may need chemistry, some people may need accountant, some people, you understand? So you specify the people and where they should be
able to work with the agency of the government whose bit it is to enforce or ensure that there are minimum standards that our artisans must possess before they qualify to be engaged on certain projects. For example, the abroad that we're talking about, the standards are high and all of that. It's because they maintain minimum standards of entry of these artisans or workers. So it is good you are training them, but can we now translate that training to enforcement? To standardization.
Exactly. That's what we're looking at this year for this artisan. We're looking at standardization. We're talking to LASVEP. We're talking to Ministry of Works. Because apart from us upskilling there, Ministry of Housing and Works has a training again for them called the Master Crafts training. So you can imagine how much we spend on artisans, especially people in the constructive trade in Lagos State. So they took the constructive people from the artisan training under Ministry of Works and Housing to do a mastercraft program for them as well. So in Ministry of Work Creation, we now sat down and said, we've been training these people for 15 years, upskilling them. So the next line is standardization. Excellent. So by God's grace, that's where we are going. We will start this year, but we might not be so effective until maybe next year when we start telling them, if you are not standardized, you don't have this, you will not work in Lagos State, you will not do this. So over time, we'll get there. But that is what the ministry is doing right now, consigned after the upskilling. So we're looking at, like they said, we should upscale. So we're now upscaling to that level. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so very much. But the last one is just a word, in case it is not being done. I know that when the administration of Fashola, Governor Fashola, they used media a lot. Then there was social media, but not as much. They used the radio, the TV, so much. So I'm thinking that your ministry can also do that, such that even the people we are saying by this year we will start enforcing. If there is a word out there that there is a cutoff time in Lagos State that if you are not certified, if you are not upskilled, you'll be out of job. People will be sensitized. I'm sure within a short time you'll have more than enough for you to handle. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We just had a meeting with them yesterday, and what you said was what we spoke with them yesterday. So I'll take that back, that we start doing advocacy. Thank you so much. God bless you. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Mara, for that session. Please let us put our hands together again for her. That was an amazing time. Please, let's do well to find out more about that and then take advantage of the benefits. All right. To continue with our next session, our speaker will be talking on keys to understanding career success. But before I welcome him, he's our own man in the house. I would like to read his profile. Damilare Oke is an accomplished human resource leader with over 12 years of experience spanning estate management, retail operations, quick service restaurants, and the fast-moving consumer goods sector. He currently serves as group head of human resources at Eculo Group of Companies, where he partners with executive leadership to design, execute strategies and execute people strategies that drive organizational growth, employee engagement, and operational excellence. His career journey reflects consistent growth and measurable impact. He began his career at Food Concepts PLC, owners of Chicken Republic and Pie Express restaurants, where he progressed through multiple roles across operations, learning and development, and HR leadership. He has since held key positions at Chicken Cottage Nigeria, 1004 Estates, UAC Restaurant Limited, owners of Mr. Biggs and Debonair Pizza, and Hartley's Supermarket, leading major initiatives in talent development, recruitment, and organizational transformation. Over the years, Damilare has delivered significant business outcomes, establishing training academies, implementing graduate training programs, leading large-scale recruitment projects, and driving HR automation through SAP ERP and HRIS platforms. He has also managed payrolls for over 4,000 employees and developed more than 1,500 young professionals, many of whom now occupy critical roles across organizations. He is an intentionally certified HR professional, holding the senior professional in human resources international certification from the Human Resource Education Institute, HRCI, USA. He is also a licensed HR practitioner and associate member of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, as well as an associate member of the Nigerian Institute of Training and Development. His expertise spans talent acquisition, performance management, organizational development, employee relations, leadership coaching, and HR policy formulation. A graduate of the University of Ilorin with BSc ED in health education, Damilare combines strong academic grounding with practical HR leadership to build high-performing, people-centered organizations. He is widely recognized for his integrity, emotional intelligence, and proactive approach to aligning workforce capabilities with business objectives. Beyond these professional achievements, he is passionate about fostering inclusive workplaces that balance business performance with employee well-being. He is married and blessed with 2 amazing children. Please, with an ovation, a clap ovation, let us welcome our very own Damilare Oke.
Thank you very much. Praise the Lord. Okay. Thank you very much, Oladimiji. I want to take the pastorate. First of all, our resident pastor, Reverend Tony Akinyemi, our national overseer, the resident pastor, everyone, my brothers, my sisters, my daddy's mommies, my lovely wife that is doing video right now. I want to appreciate you and thank you once again. So today I'll be talking about keys to outstanding career success. But first of all, in the bio, it said something about I graduated from University of Ilorin, right? I studied health education. So we'll do the LD thing. For most of us, we've been sitting for so long. So I'll give you 2 minutes out of my time to walk around. So please stand up, walk around, try to connect, talk to one person or the other. They say sitting is the next sickness or so. So please, it's the new smoking, right? So let's walk around, talk to 1 or 2 persons. Stretch those legs. One other thing about this commission is that, we are for healthy living. So yes, that's the reason why I want us to stretch. Please don't sit. If you are still sitting down, try to stretch those legs. All right, you have 1 more minute. Get a contact, share your business cards. Know one person or the other. Another reason for this meeting is connecting. So if you need to get that phone number, get it now. All right, we can have our seats, please. Thank you. So, keys to outstanding career success. Why do some people keep rising while others stay stuck? Why do some people keep rising and other people stay stuck? So this session we'll be talking about the difference in professional advancement and people's career growth. And we are also going to be exploring practical biblical principles that transforms ordinary work into extraordinary impact. And yeah, you can see one of my favorite verses in the Bible, Proverbs 22:29. It says that a man diligent in his business, he shall stand before kings, not in front of mere men. Not just men, mere men, ordinary men. You will stand before kings in as much as you are diligent in your business. So we are talking about career. I'm going to talk about how I started my career. I'm an HR professional as it is right now, but I used to call myself an accidental HR person. When I was in uni, I never thought I would be an HR person. In fact, I hate HR people. I detest HR people because in my head then, and I'm sure many of you right now, if I ask you, who do you think an HR person is? There are people that hire and fire. They are the people that will not increase my salary at work. None of you will actually tell us say something really nice about HR people. Well, most of us, we've carried it as our cross. It is what it is. So I also didn't like HR. I was not expecting to be an HR person. I graduated in 2021, health education. And as an health educator, two things. It's either you continue to become a lecturer or a teacher in school, or you become wole. You understand? So the third part was not what I was going to be. Public health, I don't want that. I was planning to grow masters, then start teaching, becoming a lecturer. That's my plan. That's what I love. I love teaching, right? But then after uni, went to NYSC, there's this thing corpus used to say, I'm going to save, and at the end of the service year, I'm going to use my money to do something. I was serving in Imo State. I was doing like 3 jobs then, getting a lot of money. I was one of the richest corpus then in my local government. But at the end of my service year, just 400,000 naira was saved, couldn't do anything, and I started looking for a job. And some of the jobs I got were 10,000 naira per month. This was in 2012, and I worked 7 to 7 in an hotel, barman, but that was not what I wanted to do. I went to secondary schools. They wanted to pay 12,000 naira, which is better than the 10,000 naira, but I just knew that was not what I wanted to do because I needed money to further in education so that I can do what I wanted to do. Then my dad introduced me to someone who took me to Chicken Republic for a test, and I passed the test. And mind you, I know book very well. So I passed the test. They called me for the interview, and I passed the interview. So I got my job with Chicken Republic as assistant restaurant manager in 2013. That was not what I wanted. But I got that job, and you know what? I was doing it well. I was doing diligently because I didn't have any other option. At the end, they were paying me 60,000 naira per month, which was good money, better than the 12,000 naira or the 10,000 naira that anybody was going to earn me. In fact, my second month, I bought my first BlackBerry Curve 7, 37,000 naira, like more than half of my salary then. It was used Curve 7, but everybody was using BlackBerry. I was also using BlackBerry then in 2013. When people were using better one, Boat 2, I was using Curve 7 or so. So from there, there was in 2014, I was Chicken Republic. I had a new training manager from KFC South Africa, and I was fortunate to be managing a particular restaurant where she trained. So she came around, she saw the way I was trained, because employed as an assistant restaurant manager, because of my educational background, I wanted teaching. The way I manage my employees, talk to them, relate with them, teach them, she liked it. And she said, oh, this guy will be a trainer. So she nominated me to join the training team. We did interviews. I was the only one that was picked. So training is a part of HR. And that was my first bite in HR. So that's how I joined HR. Now, this is where the accidental thing came in. I never thought I would be HR, but training brought me into HR. And I was doing training for like 6 months. Then the head of HR now saw me and said, oh, you are wasting in training. I want you to continue as HR, full HR. So I became HR officer in 2015. You can see what has happened to my career, right? But one thing I want you to know is that there is kind of a purpose alignment. What I want to do and the opportunity that was in front of me, and I took it well. I did it well. I was very diligent, and I didn't lose track of where I wanted to go. I'm not going to be teaching in any university anytime soon, because now I'm loving HR, right? But I can tell you that I've trained more than 1,005 people, truly. This is not fake numbers. I've trained more than 1,005 people in different companies. At least I've worked in 6-7 companies. I've done graduate training programs. I've set up training departments. I've set up training academies. I've set up many modules. In fact, one of the organizations that I worked for is a franchise of an organization in UK. And when we went to Malaysia then for a training, one of the things I do in Nigeria is currently one of their modules there in that particular organization till date. Unfortunately, I didn't do any IP or patent, so they are not paying me for it even after I left. So it is what it is. But now I've learned that in this program. So I deliberately want to mention my first entry into HR, how my career started, because I'm going to talk about it as we progress. So next slide, please. So let's be honest about career success. We see a lot of people, we want to succeed in our careers, right? And we see people doing so much, putting so much effort. And we see some people doing less, though there is effort, but doing lesser. So what is happening? I'm going to be talking on 2 different things. That's the strategic decisions you have to make to have accelerated career growth, and also the divine guardians. Strategic decision is knowing what to do, where to talk, how to position yourself, and even branding. Then the divine guardians is what we'll be talking about, you being a Christian, right? How to align with your God, and how to enjoy the ojoro that is involved in career. Some people will see some things and call it ojoro. Ojoro has started a very long time ago. If you see people that are very close to God, you see the way they move, you say, what has happened? That's why I like this particular guy, this musician, Mike Abdul. There's this song he sang. Them say, the blessings where you do ojoro. Yes, people will say that about you. And if you remember in the book of 1 Kings, chapter 18, verse 46, there is this particular ojoro that I still marvel at on Elijah. And he ran ahead of Ahab. I can't phantom it. Ahab is the king then, had a lot of chariots. And you know the king will have the fastest horses, right? His soldiers will have the fastest horses. And you, a man, I'm very sure he doesn't even have a shoe. And he ran. God laid his hand on him and he had accelerated speed. You know, I was talking about it with, when I was young, my grandmother used to call that particular part. He said, Olorun kanoko. I don't know if you understand that. Like God squeezed the road. I know some people will say in the olden days they used to use kanoko. This was real-time kanoko, and people call it ujuru. So God can do that accelerated things for you. In fact, and we are going to talk about the keys that you need. I'm going to talk about 7 keys, and these are the keys you need to have that career success. Next slide, please. So number 1 is to discover your purpose. At a very young age, I knew I wanted to teach. I knew I want to talk to people. I knew I like to engage people. So the first key is to discover your purpose. Many people are just working, not called. It's possible for you to be in a particular business right now, but you are not really enjoying it. And you cannot enjoy what you don't like. I will make this analogy, and it's a question. I want someone to answer me. If they give you fried rice, right, with chicken, and you are sitting in a place that is conducive with AC, and at every bite of the spoon, somebody gives you a slap, will you enjoy the food? No, right? The conditions are not all conducive for you. But if you're in a place, a hut, H-U-T, and the place is hot, no fan, nothing, and they give you a cup of gari with cold water and granite or kuli, will you enjoy it? You understand? So it depends on how you've conditioned yourself. Whatever environment you find yourself, try to make it conducive for yourself. Now, but for you to make it conducive for yourself, you have to understand that purpose for that particular area. We need to understand what our purpose is. You can be a banker and you are not enjoying it. It might necessarily mean that that's not your purpose. So how do you identify your purpose? You have to ask yourself, what am I naturally good at? Not what I wish I was good at. What am I naturally good at? My dad is a doctor, and he was forcing all of us, one of his children must be a doctor. None of us has become a doctor. I'm the closest because I studied health education. At least I studied medicine education. But none of us is a doctor. What are you naturally good at? That is an identification of, okay, maybe this is my purpose. The other one is you need to ask yourself is, what do people always come to me for help with? What exactly is that solution that people see you provide? And it comes to you naturally. You don't force it. That might lead you to what your purpose is. Another question you should ask yourself is, when do I lose track of time because I'm being engaged? There are some things that when you are doing it, you are looking at the wristwatch. But there are some things that when you are doing it, you wonder, oh my God, we spent so much time today. That is telling you that, okay, this might be your purpose because you find yourself fitting into that particular scenario easily. Another question will be, what problem do I enjoy solving, even when it is difficult, even when I'm not being paid for it? That is a question you need to ask for yourself for you to identify your purpose. And how has God equipped me uniquely among my peers? There should be something that makes you different from your peers. These are things that can show you what your purpose is. And the second key, so number one is purpose. You have to identify your purpose. Number two is excellence. Whatever you find your hand doing, what do you need to do? You do it well. You need to do it well. Excellence. And excellence is not just doing the work completely. Excellence is doing the work perfectly, very well, completely, without any hassle. And three things you need to know about excellence. You have to be reliable at work. You have to give attention to details. You have to also have what they call self-direction. Now, being reliable is, I remember sometime at work, one of my bosses then, we are two HRBPs then, and for me, if he needs anything to be done fast, he comes to me. The other person, if he needs somebody that will do something thoroughly, like give attention to details, no mistakes at all, he will not even check it before submitting it to the board. He talks to another lady. Who do you think he prefers amongst the two of us? Who would you think he would prefer? Somebody that will get you, you need a work that will take 3 days, but you need somebody to deliver it on time. I will be the one he will talk to. But a work that you know that I will not have time to review it, I just need to submit it, you will give to somebody else. Who would you prefer in your team? The first one, someone that will do it on time. Someone that will do it on time and you will also take like another 30 minutes or 50 minutes to review and be sure that the numbers are correct. That was me. I was not perfect, so I need to show you my own part. But the other person that will take a whole... So when the time he wants to use that lady, he would give her the work a long time before. And me, maybe he gives me, okay, Dami, I need to submit this thing tomorrow, but I need you to submit it by 12 o'clock. I'll be the one doing it. Jack, I will just continue that work. It wasn't as if my works are not very excellent, but he needs to at least correct one or two things. But for the lady, slow, whatever. And you know what he did for the two of us? He needed the two of us. Later on, he knew that, okay, you know what? Dami started the job, Chidi end the job. You understand? Dami started the job, Chidi end the job. And you know one thing about people that finishes the job, they get the glory at the end of the day. So when there is recommendation and everything, when we're having team talk, you will see them talking about Chidi, and she too, she'll be like on her CV, you will see most of the things she wrote on her CV. I started it actually, but you know, they even gave Employee of the Year, and she was given an award on something I initiated. But you know, that is something about excellence. That is something about excellence. You need to be very reliable. You need to keep attention to details. You need to be self-directed. You don't need your boss to come and tell you this. When you see a problem, please be the person to solve it. Identify the problem. I've said it many times today. Identify that problem and make sure you plug yourself to be the person to solve it. The third key, so we've talked about purpose, we've talked about excellence. The third one is keep learning. The world is changing at an unprecedented pace. Technology advances, industry transforms, customer expectation evolve, and now competitor emerge constantly. I think they've mentioned it today too, but one thing I know is that the day you stop learning is the day you start dying. I think I've shared it before on this platform here, that there was a job that I missed out in 2024. That job would have changed my life 100%. It was an international job, and if you invite me for an interview in your office, it will take the grace of God for you not to give me that job, right? I'm very serious. That is, I thank God for that grace. So I came for this interview. Actually, it's one of my mentors that submitted my CVs, and fine. She got to tell me that, okay, I scored the highest. I scored 94%. But the person they gave the job to scored 65 or 66%. What is the difference? So this job is supposed to be head of regional training head, but the person will be in Cote d'Ivoire, and the salary is $3,500, which is a good money. This 2 years ago, if I was still in the company, I'm sure they would have increased the salary close to maybe 4,500 or 5,000 right now, you know. And yes, all those delay gratification, you cannot delay any gratification with $5,000, even though you not marry second wife, you know. So that's what made me lose this job is because the other lady can speak French and I cannot. Just imagine you've passed everything, you even scored 94%, and somebody that scored 64 or 65 or 66 got the job because she can speak French. I hated myself for some times. I had to go and download Duolingo. I started, you know, anybody, if you need to download Duolingo, please start learning. If it's Spanish you want to learn, please start. If it is French, and I started learning, but the job is gone, law. You understand? I'm not sure it's coming back again, right? But other opportunities will show. So sometimes when you see somebody and you say this person is lucky, it's not always luck. It's just the person is prepared for that opportunity that has come. So if I had gotten the job, somebody will tell me that I'm lucky. No, I can speak French. And like I've positioned myself. I've studied over the time. I know how to ace exams. I know how to ace interviews, which I'm going to chip in some things for you. During interviews, one thing you need to know is that at the end of, when they tell me about yourself, you can say everything you want to say. It's boring, actually. We want to listen to the achievements that make sense with numbers. And towards the end, manipulators, HR people. When I say manipulators, use emotions to end your statements. That's why I don't know if you watch America Got Talent or this Britain Got Talent. The time that you see those judges emotional, when you start saying, I fell down on the staircase, that's why I cannot walk again. You're already gaining their attention, so they're already sober for you, right? Now, so it works. They are human beings, except it's a robot that is going to interview you. You know what I usually do? I remember one of my interviews then in April in 2022 when I was going to join Atlas Supermarket. So after everything, I had already learned it from my mentor. My mentor said, okay, you are getting married now. Tell them you are getting married. So as I finished everything, don't forget, you must have achieved, you must have won their heart at some point. So I now told them, in March, I'm going to be getting married to a beautiful lady. You understand? And they started laughing, smiling. I'm like, I don't enter this once. I'm serious, it works. Now, these days, I don't use that again. What I say is that, okay, I'm married with a beautiful wife. I have 2 beautiful kids, 1 girl, 1 lady. You see the female, they'll just be looking like this. And they'll start saying that you are responsible, even though you are not responsible. I just giving you an interview arc. Before you do this, ensure that you've stated your achievements with numbers. Then end with the emotional thing. It's just being emotional intelligence. We'll talk about that later again. So keep learning. Learning is important. You can lose opportunity if you stay stuck in one position. So like I said, the day you stop learning is the day you start dying. So number 1, technical skills like software, tools, platform, system relevant to your industry. Some of us we are not going to do business. I've given people business ideas that are working, but I don't see myself doing business. My wife used to be, and it was in paid employment before. She even did HR course. She passed international HR course. I paid for it to not how. You understand? She passed. And later on, after marriage, she said she doesn't want to do it again. We agreed fine. She started doing businesses of, okay, she sells grilled fish. I do delivery sometimes. She doesn't pay me. You understand? All those things. Then later on, she diverted into selling clothes and everything, which is doing very well. I even envy her. This lady will be threatening me with how much she has made in a day. I mean, I will divide my salary by 31 days. I'm like, what's happening? You understand? But it's good. But not all of us will do business. Now, if you see my wife, sometimes on her status, she will do some TikTok videos. I don't have TikTok before now. Even the TikTok I have, I'm using it to do something else. I don't have Snapchat. Most times, give me your Snapchat. I don't have Snapchat. You understand? But I've learned that there are things you need to diversify into, right? If you are earning salaries are good. In fact, if you have God's grace and you have accelerated growth, you might not need a business. By the time you retire and your pension is good, if you are currently in paid employment, if you have an app that can monitor your pension, do a pension calculator and see what your pension will be at the time you are 60 years. You see what they are going to give you and what you'll be earning every month. You will know that you want to continue paid employment. You understand? If your career is good, right? So it is good. But me, you know what I've done now? I've opened a TikTok account. And what I'm doing is because I searched on AI that what is that need that can get people that people can enjoy. I will not tell you so that you not collect it from my hand. And that's what I'm doing. I will not tell you. You just see it one day on your phone, it will be blowing. But we've started that. I started like 3 weeks ago, and the likes and views are encouraging. You understand? I'm investing in it too. You understand? So another thing you need to do as a career person, if you know you don't want to do business, is try to invest your money. Invest. See all these savings we give to bank. They give you 8% of whatever is in your account, right? And it's annoying. I was telling my wife that, okay, I bought some stock, and on a particular stock yesterday, I got 53,000 naira. My wife is a savage. She said, something that can go down tomorrow. Yes, it can go down tomorrow. But there's a beauty of you knowing that, okay, it has developed over time. I started in February, buying stock February 1. And from February to now, I've gotten over 300,000 naira. You understand? That's buying in stock. I'm just saying, don't just rely on salaries. You can take some percentage of your salaries to invest in things that matter. So that is where learning comes in. If you don't learn it, you don't know it. And you've just been using your money to eat shawarma up and down. Before you know it, you are 60, and the shawarma will not be healthy for you again. So let's go for today. So technical skills, soft skills like communication, leadership, emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is a training I think everybody needs. And I can tell you that for emotional intelligence, one of the first things they will teach you is to be self-aware of yourself. The day you know about yourself, if you can do an emotional intelligence training from a certified person that knows how to teach emotional intelligence, you'll be acing interviews. It's just so easy. Once you're emotionally intelligent, because what they want to know is you. And once you are self-aware of yourself, you can go into another person's mind and manipulate their mind. When I say manipulate, it's trying to condition their minds to understand your own mind, not for the wrong thing. You understand? Industry knowledge. So wherever industry you find yourself, it's important for you to get to know market trends, competitive landscape, imagine opportunities. Be on LinkedIn, be on WhatsApp group of your professional people, and engage in those groups. I know some of us, we are in like 50 WhatsApp groups. But the one that will be beneficial for you, that you have your co-professionals, you will not talk, you will just be doing ghost members. The job I got for Athlete Supermarket, it's one of my mentors. I've known her from 2018, right? But she doesn't, some mentors, you give them gap. You don't just intrude in their life. So once in a while on our WhatsApp platform, HR Foundry, there's a problem. I drop solutions that I think that I can prefer to it and find like that. Then one day she just sent me a message that she needs head of HR for this supermarket, whatever. I saw the post. I said, I'm not going. I don't want to go to the island. Then I said, I'll send her some CV. She said, Damilare, are you all right? I said, what did I do? She said, drop your CV, Joe. I said, okay. I dropped my CV, went for the interview, and everything was fine. And that was it. You understand? So you need to be visible. You need to be visible. Let them know you that you have sense. So that sense is by dropping answers to questions or troubles or problems that they've put on the WhatsApp platform. Even in the church, you have church platforms, they throw some conversation, you just want to be ghost members. There are people, these people that you are seeing with you, your peers, they are tomorrow's MDO. They are tomorrow's CFOs. They are tomorrow's head of HR. They are tomorrow's directors. So if they don't see you as a potential, as a problem solver now, when do you think they are going to see you? Other people would have taken that your position, and you would think it is village people. It's not village people. It is you that is just being lazy. Let's go to the fourth key. The fourth key is this. There's this book that someone gave me, Talent is Not Enough. The book by John C. Maxwell, Talent is Not Enough. It is important for you to know that character matters more than talent in the workplace. Talent can open doors for you. People are drawn to those who are naturally gifted, skilled, brilliant, but your character keeps you there. People are more endeared with people that smile. People are more endeared with people that greet. People are more endeared with people with integrity. People are more endeared with people that listen, not just interrupt at every point in time. See, if there is one skill apart from emotional intelligence that you don't have, and if there is this skill you don't have, listening skill, if you don't have listening skills, you are in trouble. If you don't know how to listen, I don't see where you want to function in life, professionally, maritally, educationally. Listening, it's very, very important, because how do you even solve a problem if you don't listen to understand that problem? So please, character matters more than talent. That's the fourth key. If you need a good character, you need the right attitude. You can have job knowledge. You can look good, but if you don't know how to smile, if you don't know how to calm down, if you don't know how to speak with. You see how our pastor, our national overseer speaks. Jesus. Pastor Wale, even, I've said it before, I don't know if he remembers. I'm sure if Pastor Wale wants to battle demons, he doesn't need to shout, hello, my name is Pastor Wale, I'm here. You don't have right to be here. They will run. And I'm sure that's how he has been tackling spiritual battles. I'm not saying you cannot do, it's fine, but let's jokes apart though. It is important for you to have the right character. So it is very, very important. Pastor Wole, please pardon me. I hope if I greet you tomorrow, you will respond. So lying, these are character killers. Lying or dishonesty, pride, poor attitude, breaking promise, gossips. If you're in the workplace and one of the things you like doing is gossips, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. One thing we used to forget is that the people next to us, they are colleagues, not our family members. And most times you don't know who they are doing yes sir, yes ma for. And because you are so comfortable to gossip with that person, you don't know where that particular conversation is going to. Maybe it is us HR that is will land with, and you hear HR has sacked this person and you call us bad people. Whereas you are the one that initiated it. So please, it is important that we stay away from these character killers, lying or dishonesty, pride, poor attitude, breaking promises, gossip. Show up, please. Show up. Be on time. One thing that my wife knows me for is that, and I don't know how she's dealing with it, I don't joke with time. You call a wedding 10 o'clock, I'll be there in 10 o'clock, even though I'm going to leave by 11:30. Time is, I respect time. You understand? So please, it's also important, resume early. If you can do extra hours, I tell people there are two different things. There's strategic positioning and there is eye service. There are two different things. Eye service is if you are doing it just because somebody is here to see me. Eye service is if you are doing it and it's going to cause harm to your colleague. Eye service is if you are not consistent with that particular attitude. But if you are strategic positioning yourself, it is you doing the same thing in front of Pastor Wale, Pastor Bigila, Reverend Tony. Not that in front of Pastor Bigila, you do like this. And because of Reverend Tony, you do like this. And because of Pastor Wale, you do like this. That is inconsistent. People will know that you are faking things. Please, let's strategically position ourselves with good characters. The fifth key, discipline. It is important to be very disciplined. One of the jobs that took me out, the first time I'm going to travel out of this country was a job. When I joined Chicken Republic as a training person, we were two. And the previous guy was there before me, so he's been doing training. But there's something about him that people don't like, right? He's a good guy. But there's just something about him, maybe the way he talks, the way he's not, there's something about him that people don't like. So there was this guy they brought from KFC as an operation manager that came there, and the guy exhibited that same character in front of him. And he had to go and meet the head of HR that I don't want this guy to train me. Can you give me the other person? That's how I got to train him. And he liked the way I trained him. Me, I'm an educator before. I would train him very well. I would smile, we do all those things before. So then at the point he left. Then he got a job with one of the franchises, that's the Chicken Cottage, which was owned by former vice president then. And he called me, said, okay, I've gotten this job, are you interested in an HR position? I left Chicken Republic, I was in another company there, 1004, but I was planning to run away. I only stayed in 1004 for 5 months because it was a terrible place to work then, I don't know now. So he called me for this position because of the way he worked with me and liked me. And I joined. And that's the company that took me to Dubai and Malaysia. You understand? Attitude. Discipline. Because he could trust me. He couldn't trust that guy. I'm not saying the guy has had a worse career than me right now. In fact, he just got a job. He's going to resume a job next month as the head of talent management, and he'll be earning like 150,000 naira more than me. I'm jealous, but what I'm saying is that he has developed over the years. But at that point, what made him lose that particular relationship was discipline. So you need to be disciplined. It's not everything you see that you say you want to eat. If not every money that is being shared that you want to be interested in the person that is sharing it. They give tips. You are taking the highest share. You are cheating people. You need to be disciplined. And it starts from home. You can't fake it at work. If you cannot be disciplined at home, you cannot be disciplined at work. That's the fifth key. The sixth one, relationships. Very, very important. The people that you meet, they matter. My mentors, I don't ask for money from my mentors. When you ask every now and then, you push people away. We need to understand how to manage relationships. Have you at any point in time thought about, okay, this person has been nice to me, especially, see all these rich people, most of them are not loved. When I'm saying they are not loved, they don't get to feel love. What they just see is people sending them WhatsApp message on their birthday. Have you tried to call one person? When you finish here today, just call the biggest contact on your phone. Call the person today. Hello, Sama. I just wanted to say I love you. God bless you. Just checking on you. The person might have not received that particular thing this year. I remember one man like that, Mr. Wale Smart, is now DG of NECA. and it was his birthday. That thing just led me that, don't send message to this guy. Call him. So I called him, Mr. Wale, happy birthday, God bless you. This was around evening. This is a director general of NECA. NECA is National Employers Commission. He's a big man. These are people that go to Geneva, Switzerland to talk about labor laws of the whole old world. He's DG for Nigerian arm. And he said, wow, Imisi, you are the first person that is calling me today. Even my children have not called me. And since that day, that was, I think, 2020, to date, every of my birthday he calls me. He has not given me money though, but I have that access. There are many people, and I got that since that day. There are specific people that on their birthdays I call them. I don't send WhatsApp messages. And I think you should do that too. People matter. Your family members, your church colleagues, your pastors, your friends, office space, relationship matters. Please. Sometimes it is not easy to recover from a spoiled relationship because of one thing or the other. So respect is important. Be generous, helpful, be positive, and be trustworthy. Then the last key, but not the least, I'll be talking about is the ultimate factor. Don't remove God from your career. You will be in serious trouble. Don't remove God from your career. The book of Proverbs chapter 3, verse 5 and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and do not lean on your own understanding. In all your ways, acknowledge him, and he will make your way straight. He will make your path straight. Do not lean on your own understanding alone. Now, one thing that God will do for you, I already told you about the Ojoro people we later see, like the case of Elijah, when he sped even faster than faster chariots. You understand? There are a lot of things he's going to do. Number one thing is God opens doors automatically for people that are close to him, for people that are ready to listen to him. And one thing that God will do, for you to get close to God, you have to abstain from sins. God, yes, is a factor. Yes, but you need to get close to him. But the little of sin cannot get close to his holiness. So we need to be close to God for him to open doors for us. There are opportunities and breakthroughs you cannot create through your effort alone. God opens doors that no human can open. There are specific things that you think, after all the first 5, 6 keys, and you are still seeing you being stuck, then you need to get back to your God. He redirects paths. When you are heading towards a dead end or a wrong decision, God can gently and strongly redirect you to a better path. Like I said, I used to tell people that your career growth or your career ladder doesn't necessarily to be a linear one. You understand? There are times that you might need to go like this. So when I was in 2004, I was earning 177,000 naira then. And the job that took me abroad, right? I took the job, I was earning lower, I think 160-something thousand naira. I was not looking at the 160-something thousand naira. I was looking at the abroad opportunity, working close to former vice president. In fact, there was a meeting that we had that he told me to stand up and explain tax to the older guys in order of his companies. Why? Because I've learned. I understood the previous tax law for employees, and I was able to break it down to them because we did tax filing and our own was fine, but the other companies was rubbish. From there, anytime I go to his hometown, I sleep in his wife's house, not in an hotel. The wife cooks for us. It is, God, you need to be close to these people to see what they are going through. But thank God. Then the last but not the least is that God gives wisdom. God gives wisdom. There are some mistakes that will want to happen. But then, because you are closer to God, God will help you out with it. Like I said again, trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean in your understanding. He will make it in all your ways. Acknowledge him, and he will make things straight for you. So I'm going to round up by saying these 6, 7 keys again. Number 1, identify your purpose. Very important. Number 2, excellence in everything you do. Number 3, relationships. Know how to take care of relationships. Number 4, keep learning. Number 5, be disciplined. Number 6, characters. your character is more important than your talent. And number 7, the last but not the least, the God factor. You cannot do without it. Thank you very much.
Please, let's put our hands together till he gets to his seat. That was such an insightful section. Wow. Wow. Amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. Emisi Tamilari. Okay. Mr. Emisi is actually my HOD. We're in the drama unit and he's my HOD. Please, let's give him a round of applause. He's doing great. He's teaching us great. Awesome. All right, so in a few minutes, we're going to be going into our next section. But before we do that, just a single house rule. The refreshments are going to be going around in a minute, so we encourage that everyone, please keep your packs, don't eat inside. You can step outside if you want to and then have your meals, or you can take it home, but we encourage that you do not eat inside. Thank you very much, everyone. All right, so the next section we're going to be having is going to take us through a theme that has been titled From Ideas to Impact, Leveraging Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria to Innovate, Scale, and Thrive. And taking us through this is Dr. Bumi Dawodu. I'm going to be reading out his profile right now, and then he will come up and take us through this. So, Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria is a Nigerian government agency established to promote and support the growth of micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises across the country, across our dear nation, Nigeria. And its core mission is to provide entrepreneurs with access to resources, training, funding, and market opportunities to help their business grow sustainably. So if that sounds like something you want to listen to, you want to still remain on your seat for Dr. Bumi's section. So Dr. Oluwabumi Kole Dawodu is a seasoned public servant and accomplished programs and project manager with over 2 decades of experience leading complex initiatives, driving strategic growth, and delivering measurable impact across Nigeria's development and enterprise landscape. His career spans MSME policy formulation, entrepreneurship ecosystem development, and regional enterprise networking with a strong emphasis on innovation, stakeholder engagement, and sustainable impact. Dr. Oluwabumi has held key leadership roles, including unit head, team lead, innovation lead, policy advisor, state manager, and deputy director in charge of partnership in SMEDAN, that is the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria. And he has done this consistently, guiding teams towards excellence in program execution and policy implementation. He is highly skilled in designing and managing programs and projects tailored to the development of MSMEs in Nigeria, ensuring they are responsive to local needs and aligned with national priorities. His contributions have significantly advanced BDS for MSMEs, helping them scale operations, improve efficiency, and navigate regulatory environments. He's a certified trainer, coach, and mentor with GIZ, IOM, and ILO. He has empowered entrepreneurs through models such as Inspire, Create, Start, and Scale, ICSS, and the Digital Skills for Entrepreneurs Initiative, DSE. He's also a skilled public speaker, regularly engaging with government officials, community groups, and media audiences to advocate for inclusive enterprise development. His academic credentials include a public leader program from University of Oxford, PhD entrepreneurship, small business management, venture capital, innovation management, technology transfer, an MBA from Babcock University. He has an MSc in palynology from the University of Ibadan and a BSc in microbiology from the University of Benin. He has served as a short-term expert for the Half Finance Accelerator program by KPV, supporting chamber partnerships and women-led enterprises. With deep expertise in project design, management, data analytics, and policy impact measurement, he remains a driving force in Nigeria's public sector transformation and private sector empowerment. Ladies and gentlemen, you want to give a round of applause as Dr. Oluwabunmi Dawodu comes up to the stage.
Thank you. Praise the Lord. Thank you so much for the church invitation. I'm not sure if I really deserve to speak here, but it is one of those things that I do and I've been doing for over 2 decades. I bring you greetings from the Director General, Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency of Nigeria, Dr. Charles Odi, who says, go and deal with this situation. And I'm glad that I'll try my best to deal with the situation. I also want to thank my friend, Blessed Ola Saints. He wasn't only on my neck. Do you know the way you smoke rabbit out of hole? That's what he has been doing to me to make sure that I come here today. Most Saturdays are for my family, but again, I've been blessed with another family here. So, I'll just quickly tell you about Smedan, what we do and how we do it, and then, I'll talk about, what I'm supposed to say today. First of all, Smedan is a small and medium enterprise development agency of Nigeria. It's an agency of government that was established in 2003. And our main mandate is to see to the development of small businesses in Nigeria by formulating policies, implementing the policies, designing programs and projects for the development of this subsector. It's a national agency of government. We have representation in all the 36 states of the Federation. Before now, I've worked like 22 years in Smedan now. Don't look at my face, don't worry. Everybody get deceived by my face. But you can keep guessing my age, right? And so I've been with Smedan for 22 years. And in those 22 years, I've worked with all the 6 director generals that have worked in Smedan or that has headed Smedan, including this present one. But something is very clear for us at Smedan and then to see to the development of this ecosystem in Nigeria. Smedan is like a representation of the whole Nigeria. Everything that happens within the agency is something that we can see, happening in the whole of Nigeria. And I'll tell you why. Small businesses are the engine room of any economy. The engine room of any economy. Why? They are the ones that people really do not reckon with, but they are the ones that oil the engine of the economy. And every nation pay close attention to the development of this subsector. Out of those subsector, 70% of them are informal. 30% are formal. And I'll give you a very good example. In Lagos State alone, there are about 7.5 million jobs. I noticed that when the lady was reading my profile, she mentioned that I am good in data analytics, right? So I'll come on the side of data so that we'll all understand it. This information that I'm giving to you is about 6 years old in Lagos. 7.5 million jobs. Out of the 7.5 million jobs, 5 million jobs are from the informal sector. The remaining 2.5 are from the formal sector. The formal sectors include the banks, the large corporations, the medium-sized corporations, Nestle, Cadbury, Coca-Cola, those that are the ones that form the 2.5%. But the 5.5% are formed by those of us that, just trade, produce little things and sell, like those that are making food outside there, they are part of the 5 million rather. Those 5 millions are further cascaded into semi-formal and then informal. Semi-formals like those that, are outside making food, they have registered their businesses, they have better packaging for the businesses. But the informal, the real informal, are those that you see sell bully at the side of the road, corn, kiosk, and all that. They are not registered with Corporate Affairs Commission. They are just, making things work. And guess what? The informal are the ones that are actually, running the economy of this nation. Why? You take 1,000 to them, you buy something of 700, you collect 300. You go to buy bread, you go to buy sachet milk, Bonvita or milk or whatever, and then you collect. So there's an exchange of money. These sect of people are the ones that Smedan is really looking at to target more. And I won't lie to you, they are the real SMEs in Nigeria. They are the real SMEs. But we see them as informal. Somebody says that if you go to ShopRite or some other supermarkets, you buy banana, maybe five fingers of banana for like 1,000 or 2,000 naira. Just saying the example. But the little girl that is putting banana on a tray and running around the streets and, hawking that banana, we would price the banana even if she says it's 700. These are part of the issues that we are building to solve with the policies of the MSMEs in Nigeria. I just decided to give that background so that we'll understand what we're doing. And technically, in Nigeria, I'm a Christian as well. In Nigeria, most of the challenges that we face comes from our homes. When I say homes, I also mean the church. General Overseer, I'm sorry, sir, I don't mean to offend you. But the solutions to most of the problems that we have with small businesses or micro enterprises or nano enterprises in Nigeria, the solutions are in the church. Thank you, the previous speaker, my brother. You mentioned so many things that I just sucked them in and I'm adding some of them into my presentation while you were talking. A lot of things are happening right now in Nigeria, but the solution is in the church. Half of the people that come to church come to seek for support, arms. When they are going back home, brother, can I get 1,000? I don't have transport. I don't have food. But if we're able to gather ourselves together in a church and organize summits like this, is the first of all the steps to solution that we're supposed to take to solve these problems. Nobody's coming to save us. We're supposed to help ourselves. Jesus has saved us already. We are supposed to help ourselves. Summits like this are the solutions to most of our problems. We shouldn't joke with information that comes like this. We shouldn't. Ministry of Wealth Creation was here earlier. They are doing fantastic job for the informal sector. But people are not coming out. People are not showing up. They prefer to come to the church and beg for 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, 10,000, and then go back and go and eat. And then come back the following Sunday. But if we organize events like this, it will expose people to a lot of factors, some successes that they can see, trying to take up business. And I thank the church, for giving me these opportunities. So I'll just quickly say things about business, how we run business, what we should do, running business, and how the government can also support to, run business. I usually tell people that it is not easy for anyone to run business. You are taking your destiny into your hands. You are taking your future, your present into your own hands by yourself. And it's not easy, honestly. I congratulate those that are in business already, and I also congratulate those that are, aspiring to be into business. Somebody said that as government official, as a civil servant, you are not supposed to do business. And I laugh at the person. I said, who is the president of Nigeria? He said, Tinubu. I said, okay, don't do business. Wait for salary, 30 days, make a pay. I'm not scared to say it now. I'm not. Let me tell you a bit about the civil service, right? If you want to retire, they voluntarily put you on holiday for 3 months before your retirement. Why? So that they will find out whether you are eating something there first before you go. So they can trace it back, investigate, and then tell you to vomit everything. 35 years. Whew. And then you say, I couldn't do business. Let me give you a very good example. I started working in Abuja with Smedan in 2004. I was moved to head Ogun State in 2011. I worked in Ogun State for 9 years. When I got into Ogun State, I told myself, I said, my mom is from Ogun State, I am from Lagos. What am I doing here? That's the first question I asked myself. And I slept. I am blessed with dreams. Okay? Every day of my life I dream. Sometimes I have 2 or 3 dreams if I wake up in the morning. And God showed me Greenland. After I've asked myself, what am I doing here? My mates are in Lagos, heading River State office where, activities are going on. And I said Ogun State. Abeokuta was somehow then. But I slept. I saw Greenland. And I saw people walking. Then the next thing I saw myself, I was telling you do this, you do that, you do this. And I got up. I woke up around 2 a.m. And I said, what is this? Am I supposed to go into farming? The following day, I was supposed to visit the Alake of Egbaland. I did not know how it came out from my mouth when talking to him that, Kabiyesi, give us land, let's start planting. And he says, you, make sure that you attend to that. In 3 days, I had 5 acres of land. I started calling people for demonstration farms. Ministry of Agri in Ogun State, I went visiting. Let's start demonstration farm, let's start doing this. That is how I owned a farmland in Ogun State. There's no form of farming I don't do. Most people don't even know that I farm. They don't know. Then, my first house in Southwest, I built it from the farm. In fact, I told myself, I said, so people that build houses, they don't need to steal in government before they build houses. Because I'd given up. How much is my salary? I don't want to go through the route of Emisi right now. That will talk about the salary. You don't want to know my salary. I'm a deputy director, but you don't want to know my salary. Sorry. And so that was the only time I was able to build a house. I moved to Lagos to head Lagos office for another 4 years until last year. And then I also went to Badagry. And I spoke to the Oba Accra of Badagry to say that I also need farmland. And he says, let this person give you one. Dash. I didn't buy. I turned that place into an export zone. People bring stuff from their farm, and then we export from my own farm in Badagry till now. Why am I telling this story? Just for us to understand that, look, there's always a way out from where we are and what we're doing. If you have to go back to your village to farm, you can. In Lagos, how many farmlands do we have? I am from Lagos State, from Lagos Island. It's only shops with Igbo boys that we have. We don't have farmland. But how did I think about that? Because I saw the challenge on ground. Oh boy, it be like say you know go build us till you finish service. Oh. And that is actually what made me go extra miles. I'm still talking within the presentation that I have, but I like how Emisi started. He told his own story. And this is how we can encourage one another as Christians to tell our own story as well. Now, things are happening in my farm, and I'm here also, making things happen. Let us start looking beyond what we are doing now. I'll tell you another story. In 2009, I wanted to pay my house rent. Then I was in Abuja. I didn't have all the money. My house rent was 750,000 then, 3-bedroom flat in Gadua Estate, if you're familiar with Abuja. I didn't have all the money. In fact, I had 350,000, remaining 400. It was due, and the estate agent was already calling me almost every hour. And so I thought to myself, I said, let me just reach out to people that can support, which is what anybody here would do. Even if you can't afford it, or you can't afford to pay back immediately. So I reached out to a couple of friends. And you know the usual response. If you had asked me yesterday, if it was last week. One even said that, I just gave out money now. But one final person that I called is like a big brother in the neighborhood where we grew up in Ikeja. And I said, Dr. Tony, I need money to make up my house rent. He said, how much do you need? I said, 400. He said, I don't have the money. But Bumi, please think inwards. I will never forget that statement in my life. Please think inwards. So I hung up and I started asking myself, think inwards. Think inwards. I got to my car to drive home. I was telling myself, think inwards. Think inwards. I got home to my car parking spot, right? And I was still telling myself, think inwards. But my fear was that maybe the estate agent is waiting for me in my flat, right? But I look left. I was still telling myself, think inwards. And I look right. And I saw my wife's car. Think inwards. I said, let me sell this car. Yes, I know the women won't like that, right? And so I climbed upstairs. I did not know what to tell my wife. I just told myself, Holy Ghost, help me. And as soon as I knocked on the door, my wife was the one that opened the door for me. And she looked at me, that I was smiling. She said, why are you smiling? I said, I want to buy you a new car. And she said, you know how it is. Mommy is even laughing, right? She laughed. She was excited. She said, oh, that means we are going to sell this one. I said, yes. The thing down the key, small, eh? And then I said, yeah, we are going to sell this one, and I'm going to buy you a new car. And I went into my room, had my bath. Inside myself, I was telling myself, you have mind, though. Hey, you have mind. And in 4 days, I put it up for sale, and I sold it. I sold the car for 620,000. I took 400 from it, added it to my rent after so much beg for the estate agent to give me some time. And I paid off the house rent. I was left with 220,000. That 220,000, a friend of mine had been telling me to invest into Dangote commodity business. So I took the 220,000, took it straight to the agent, and I paid. So what excites me was that after 5 months, I got 880,000. And I bought another car for my wife at 800. That 880,000 was profit, not the capital of 220. Yes. You know why? If you are eating pasta, I'm making money. If you are eating salt, I'm making money. So I encourage people to eat pasta. I even post it on my BBM group. Eat pasta, eat sugar, eat salt. In fact, I became Dangote's advert manager. And I started making money. The one that shocked me most was that I was able to sell that same car that I bought for my wife and brought a brand new one, tear rubber, from such things. Please think inwards. Please think inwards. There are clothes shoes, properties that we have had for 4 or 5 years. They are in our wardrobe, in the house. We don't use them. Why keep them? Lease them out. Sell them. It was a very bold step for me to sell my wife's car. Hello? 2 months, I did not drive car. She was the one driving my own. Keke straight, bike, straight to work. I didn't care. People laughed at me. I didn't care. But I was making money. So when I bought another car for her, we celebrated. When I bought a brand new car, we celebrated. Why? Because I was able to think inwards. It takes courage for you to think inwards, for you to go back and think of what to do. You know, those days we used to hear, hold on, help is on the way, right? Let me not say it on the pulpit. Hold on, help is in you. That's a new slogan. The help is what? In you. How many of us watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? I like that statement, your time starts now. There's really no time to check time in Nigeria anymore. Do you know? Once you wake up in the morning, you will not even check time. You just have your bag quickly. You are going to work or you are going to find something to eat. There's no time to check time anymore. Things are changing. Times are changing. It is in the Bible. We read it and hear it on sermons, right? In sermons, right? We hear it every Sunday or midweek services. Things and times are changing. You can only go help yourself. If you come to church and you come to beg for alms from church, they will give you first time, second time, third time, the fourth time. They will tell you, bros, how far now? Sister, you mean there's not? Let's pray for you. You see that prayer is the final currency you get. That is the final currency, and this is the truth. What you just need to do is to think inwards. Start thinking. Nigerians are worried thinkers, surface thinkers. We are not critical thinkers. We are not deep thinkers. You know what worried thinkers do? What am I eating in the evening? What will I eat tomorrow? That's worried thinking, surface thinking. But critical thinking, how can I provide food for people? How can I solve some of Nigerians' problems? And some people will say, you have not even solved your problem. You want to solve Nigeria's problem. In solving Nigeria's problem, you can create a business out of it. And I will give you a very good example. Look around you, even in the church. Every time I go anywhere, this is my own personal work. Every time I go anywhere to speak, whether in and outside of Lagos, as soon as I enter into that town, the first thing I'm looking out for is, what do they really lack here? What is the challenge here? And it is from that challenge that I'm able to pick up a business. I don't mind to relate with the locals and say, oh, I noticed something like this. Do you think that we can? And I'll give you a great example. That same Gadua estate that I live in Abuja, I carry cement and blocks to build some of the block of flats. I can conveniently tell you that. I didn't die. I held a master's degree at that time. I entered into the place. I said, can I join you people? How much will you pay me per day? They were paying me 120 naira per day then. My wife was heavily pregnant with our first child. I didn't know what to do. That is the same estate I pay 750,000 naira to live. Did anybody notice that about me? Nope. You didn't do anything to me. When I moved into that estate, there was a small boy that just finished university too that came into my house and said, look, sir, do you have any work for me to do? And I said, oh, can you wash my clothes? He said, yes, I can wash your clothes, everybody's clothes. And I was paying him. It just occurred to me that we could turn this to business. I printed flyers. I had washing machine. I have iron. And I have light in my flat. I said, go and distribute around. Tell them that you have a laundry business. Come and do it in my house. We'll share the profits, 70-30. You take 30%, I take 70%, because I'm providing washing machine, I'm providing light, I'm providing iron. And he agreed. First month, we made 23,000 naira. I gave him 18,000 because he need to transport himself far, and I took 6,000. I mean 5,000 rather. The next month, we made over 50,000 naira because people started knowing us. And that is how the business grew. Till I moved out of Abuja in 2011, I was still doing that laundry business with him. And he was making, until I left, he now took it over. I just became a passive partner, financial partner, and he was operating. I left the washing machine for him because I can always buy a better washing machine in Lagos, isn't it? And he was running the business. Today, if you go to Abuja, Image Dry Cleaner in Abuja is the owner. I'm just a financial partner. That is how business started. We saw a need. Again, there was another one. Then, in Lagos, we call it Loma, right? But in Abuja, it started, maybe in 2008 or thereabouts. We found out that in the whole of the estate, people were just packing up their debts and waiting for government to come and pack them. And the whole estate was smelly. And I told one of those malams that push truck, give us, that supply us water. I said, can we throw this thing away? Do you have a place they can dump there? He said, yes, but the place is not far. I said, okay, can we do business? Let's start giving flyers to all the flats. There are over 100 flats in that estate. And I printed flyer with my money. And I said, let's start throwing dustbin away. And that's how we started again. Business, and money was coming in. Guess what? All the money is not from my salary. For me to now control myself, I gave my wife my salary checkbook. It was checkbook then before we turned to ATM card, right? I gave her the checkbook. Once they pay my salary, I tell her that they pay salary. She will use the money to settle the house. So if there's no money, she won't ask me again. She's managing the house with my salary. It's what the salary can take. But every other small money I make, I use it to buy fuel to my car, use it to do fine boy, buy clothes, buy shoes. I've set a path for myself. Do you understand what I'm saying? I did set a path for myself. These are working deeply. How can I solve these kind of problems? Not adding to the problems by saying this Tinubu, this government, they will just kill people, tax, everywhere. You will complain and complain and complain, and then you go back to the complaint the following day, and the third day, and then business in Nigeria during COVID lockdown in 2020. We came out of lockdown, and people were struggling to make things happen, to make money. And some people are already rich without going out, without going anywhere. And they're already talking testimonies and calculating their money. In my mind, I just thought that, wait, I've been sleeping and enjoying my sleep. I don't need to sleep anymore. I need to start looking at how I can also make money. These are ways that we can think critically. We can't wait for anybody to come and help. Help yourself so that you can help the church, you can help the nation. Another thing that I want us to do is to set up a committee. I don't know if the church already have it. I don't want to be forward. But another thing that we can do is to set up a committee that looks at validating business ideas. Give people opportunities to come up with various ideas. You can invite me once a month. I can come around. We can look at those ideas, see how we can build on the ideas and help those people turn it into an enterprise, a money-spinning enterprise. We need to start doing that. It is when the ideas that people can attract investors. You can't attract investment when there's no idea. When there's no business idea, how can you attract investors? You can't. You can't. Emisi told us that character is far more better than talent. It is when you have something in your hand that God can bless something. I've heard that sermon a long time ago. God cannot bless zero. 0 times 0, 0. 0 plus 0, 0. But when it comes to 0 plus 1, it has changed. Or 1 times 2, it has changed. There must be something inside of you. Talent is good, honestly. Talent is good. But character is what actually pads talent. To make it your attitude, Abi, that's not only character. You need to check the definition of character. It's more than that. In fact, it's what comes out of you then, right? What comes out of you. What you can give. If you can't give it, you're not supposed to take it. You're not supposed to get it. But talent is also very good. Understanding is what makes it work well. If we have such committee in the church that can look at validating business ideas, turning it into an enterprise, we can begin to lay, structure on it. That's our job in Smedan. You can write us in Smedan to say that you have set up this committee, you are inviting us to a lunch or to a program, to an event, just like I came today. You can come around. We can even start organizing pitch competition where people come to talk about their businesses or their ideas and how it can turn into money. When we investors abroad that are looking for credible businesses, business that can solve real-time problems or challenges in Nigeria, that can provide solutions, we can bring that together. That is how ways to relate standard organization come and look at it. When they have a production that is edible, let NAFDA come and look at it. These are ways that we can relate with government. Nothing spoiled, nothing wrong. It's not every time that you collect from church. Some people dress fully on Sunday. What they are looking for is how to talk to people to get money. It has happened to one person or the other here already. But that's not the solution. The solution, again, is for us to think inwards. So then we can also attract funding if we structure this well. Some high net worth individuals within the church and outside of the church, or that are close acquaintance to the pastor, can say, oh, I'm dropping 1 million for any business that can do this. I'm dropping 5 million for any business that does XY. These are ways that we can pool funds together. We can even pool funds together right in the church that people will start collecting as a revolving loan, to work with. And we can work with Smedan to do that. Exhibitions or trade fair within the church premises, outside of the building. People come in, we invite them to come. State government is ready to listen to that. We can take it to anywhere outside of the church and then invite people to come and patronize. We are creating market access for people that are producing in the church. But finally, let me tell us, let us leverage on partnership. I'm talking to the church now. Let us leverage on partnership. Partnership unlocks all forms of resources, including funding. All forms of resources. It's just to design the role of each partner, and then we can start making things work. I'm glad that I have this opportunity.
Thank you very much, sir. Please let's keep clapping our hands for Dr. And I believe that just having this summit and having all of our speakers here has just been, and easy for one who has been able to attend this can scale and thrive with the information that we now have Please, can we put our hands together for all of our speakers who has graced the stage today? Awesome. All right, so we're just going to have 3 minutes of questions and answer. So if you have a question right now and you want to ask any of our speakers in absentia or here in the house right now, please just wave your hands and I'll hand you the microphone to ask your question. Anyone? Okay. Amen.
Amen. Praise
Amen.
God.
Hallelujah.
The question is from the previous speaker, Mr. Sheyi Olatunbosun. He said something. He said, great business does not start with an idea. It starts with a pain point. A pain point. Yeah. So, of recent, we had an issue with our CRM. CRM is where people renew automatically. If your subscription expires, automatically renew. So for like a week, we're having issue with the portals. Customer cannot access the portal. On the self-care, to be showing active, but they can't use they can't be able to access. In company, we offer SME. They offer 3 categories of services: SME, enterprise, and 4G, LT. Some of the ITs together and we, okay, what can we do to provide solution to this? SME has its own portal in which customer renew automatically. And then, likewise, enterprise. But the LT is down. So why am I saying this? I'm saying this based on what Mr. Sheyi Olatunbosun said. He said, great business does not start with an idea. If we, the IT department, does not come together to think, we already had an idea what the problem is. If we did not come together and maybe like move those customers that what he said, they said the great business does not require an idea. Starting every business, you need to sit down, think about it, and then you now come out with the kind of business you want to go to, and then you want to carry out. So I wouldn't know if you can help us throw more light on that, please. Thank you.
Intercom company, right? The identified. You guys already knew what the problem is or was. Is that it? Of what the problem was? Or to try to figure out what the problem was. Okay. Does any of us, okay, Pastor Wale, sir.
Thank you for the question. Incidentally, Mr. Sheyi is not here right now. He's taking his leave. But I believe that statement he made was in reference to the context of his personal experiences. You know, he shared a lot of experiences where he was responding dynamically to the different scenarios that came up, right? And again, originally was hunger, right? So I believe that was the context in which he made that statement. I don't know how that relates to the example of this down. He would have been able to provide or share that in relation to starting those different companies that he started. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. And then again, to encourage you, if you'd like to also hear from Mr. Sheyi directly, you can reach out to him on Instagram. I think he's on Instagram, so if you'd want him to still drive on it based off of how he positioned, you know, the thoughts, you can still reach out to him and ask him. I'm very sure that he will be willing to respond to that. So you can just reference the summit and let him know that, oh, you were here and then he said this. He'll respond immediately. Thank you, sir, for your question. Do we have any other questions in the house? Okay, all right. So at this juncture, we're going to be coming to an official close of the Business and Innovation Summit. And if you could please join me, let us put our hands through the closing.
Today, I'm sure that even those of us who are organizers of this program, we must confess to you, we are decimated. I mean, imparted to everyone this afternoon. Let me start by thanking so very much Dr. Bumi. I want to appreciate you. Thank you so very much for your time. Grateful. Thank you. Our own Blessing Ibitoye, that was a very powerful, powerful charge to set the ball rolling this morning. We are so thankful, so grateful. Our director from Lagos State, we appreciate her in absentia. Our own KIC CEO, Sheyi, Olatubosun, we appreciate you. Our own Kingsley. Please, let's put our hands together for them as I call their names. We appreciate you. Very, so deep. And I'm glad that I was here. And I'm sure what has been deposited into each and every one of us today will continue to speak the remaining days of our lives. Very soon we are hoping to hear, and we know we are going to hear testimonies of something that you took from here. In the next 5 years, we'll be speaking. And you say, oh, thank God, it was during that summit, that symposium that was organized in TSF. I started this, I took this step, I went this way, I went that way, I came in contact with someone, and today I have been the better for it. So shall it be for someone here today in the precious name of the Lord Jesus Christ. For all of us that have taken the pains from wherever we came from, some of us have been here from the beginning to the end. On behalf of our senior pastor, Reverend Tony, in absentia, our national overseer here present, we want to say thank you, and thank you, and thank you, and thank you again for gracing this occasion. We believe that you have had it as a glorious one. For another one, and you would also respond, by which time we know that the ones you would have started doing something with today, you will just come and consolidate on the one. We want our cameramen to be ready. We want to take a picture with Dr. Bumi before he goes, but that will be after we close the meeting. Can we please rise up, everyone, as we bring this meeting to a close? There is something for everybody, so make sure as you are going, you get, I don't know whether it's already in distributed. If not, as you are stepping out, there is something for everybody, just a little refreshment for all of us as we step out. Continues tomorrow. It's coming to an end tomorrow. In our service here that starts by 9 a.m., it is tagged Business Impartation Service. So having heard all that you have heard today, let's come and crown it with, when our Minister Benga started, he said there is a grace in this house. So let that grace bring divine impartation. Imisi spoke along those lines as step number 7. After all the character and everything, the God factor may just be what you need to take you to the next step. So that God factor, we want to bring it to bear in a very powerful way, in a powerful service that will be holding here tomorrow from 9 a.m. You can't afford to miss it. You can't afford to be absent. We are looking this morning. You will not miss your portion in the precious name of the Lord Jesus Christ. So go in peace and enjoy heaven's grace. Let's share the goodness together. Surely the Lord forever and ever. Amen. We thank the organizers. We thank all the cameramen, all the crew, everybody, all those behind food. Sterling Bank, we appreciate you. Cocoa people, everybody.